So don't say anything racist.
Will not say anything racist.
Yeah, just try not to be as racist as possible, you know?
All right, I'll let you do the introductions here when we get ready. I'm just sending out a few stuff that we're live right now.
Introduction? Shit, dude, we're already there. We're already live. There's no introductions left.
Oh yeah, I mean, I figured you want to...
Something racist.
I figured you want to open up the stream. All right.
I lied. I needed this screen here.
I'm going to send Nathan. I'm pretty sure he's watching, but I'm going to be like, we're live right now.
Live, by the way.
Yeah, live.
No big deal. Just, you know,
No
live.
big deal.
Live through the power of the internet. God, you gotta love people who are complete assholes like that.
Yeah.
I try to stay as humble as I possibly can.
It's always good to be humble. You know, you kind of...
That's why, like, I had the view count and everything. There's no point in getting way too big for your britches. Start us off, Zach. Where the fuck do you want to start?
All right.
Since I guess we're literally... I'm not playing any gameplay. I was setting this all up like I'm going to be playing a game and I need to have it all packed over here. It's like, we're not doing that. I can literally just fucking full screen it up here.
All right. So, I guess we'll start out with...
Well, basically what we're going to be talking about today, though, is...
I'll let you do that.
Oh, yeah. What we're going to be talking about is... Zach had this idea where he wanted to get together and talk about everything that's pretty much... Guys, Mega Man 11 announced today. You know, fun fact, Nathan, we were just talking about that. Not Mega Man, just how, like, you are, without a doubt, the most Nintendo person I've ever met in my life. You are the go-to Nintendo guy.
Yeah. I love Nathan. I mean, I don't know Nathan that well, but I feel like me and him, you know, could be really good friends. And I've always liked him. He's a hell of an artist.
He's a great fucking artist.
Really draws fucking amazing. And I noticed he likes a lot of Nintendo. And like he'll post something about like games and such, and I'll kind of put my counter
2 cents into it.
You know, like put my 2 cents into there, and he'll like, you know, we always have these nice conversations on Facebook. So.
Well, like
I feel like we're pretty...
The thing... this is just going to turn into a Nathan dick sucking contest.
Yeah, it is.
But,
fucking, oh, my God.
the thing that... oh, Nathan, I love you. No, the thing that surprised me about Nathan, though, is, one, he's, like, how good of an artist he is. Like, I knew that he used to be a really good artist back in the day. I didn't know how much. And then, not only that, but that article, that review that he wrote. Like, when he posted that, he's like, oh, hey, I wrote this review. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a
like,
really
really
well review. And
not that he would suck at writing. I was just surprised that he wrote it.
All right.
But anyway, Nathan, I'm pulling your penis out of my mouth, and we're going to get back to this, though. But basically, Zach's whole idea was that he wanted to... I mean, he's right. Hey, dude, what's up? Ethan's here.
Ethan.
Adel.
Ah, sweet.
He wanted to pretty much discuss what the fuck's wrong with the gaming industry and why games have slowly been declining. So that's what we're gonna chit chat about today. Basically, it's gonna be a lot of shitting on EA, and then very shortly after that, probably Destiny, and what was the other one we're gonna fucking get after?
Activision,
yeah.
Call of Duty. That's a big one out there.
But yeah, Call of Duty's always had microtransactions. But yeah, we're gonna just like kind of jump right into this. We're not very good at transitions.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, we'll do our best not to just skip around. But we're gonna start off with EA and Battlefront 2. And the funny thing, the best piece of karma in the world to me about Battlefront 2, is that EA came out and they were saying how this game's $60. We're not going to charge you guys for a season pass because it's going to have microtransactions. The microtransactions will allow us to just give you all of the content for free. But the way they did the microtransactions and the way they lied about how they were going to do the microtransactions caused them to pull them out of the game, leaving them with a $60 game that they have to fully fund on their own. And I'm sure you guys seen all the pictures about how on Black Friday all that was left on like shelves were bare except for Battlefront 2. That's never, those were all that was left. But it's funny to me that after they've been shitting on the players for so long, they finally have to support this game on their own. And you know damn well they can't go back now and just be like, oh, we're going to add in a season pass now. Because I'm pretty sure people will burn the fucking studio to the ground if they try to go back and add a season pass now.
Yeah. Well, and this is no surprise from EA too. I mean, they've been voted worst company in America for a few years. I think in 2010. I don't know the exact stats. I could pull on my phone, but they came out with Star Wars Battlefront 1. That was just absurd. Like, they had Star Wars Battlefront 1, $60, but if you pay us $10 more, you'll get the deluxe edition, which was a whole multitude of stuff added on, which you can unlock in-game in 2 hours, 3 hours. And then they had, not only that, like that was $79.99. Then they had the digital deluxe super edition or whatever it was, which had just all of the stuff you get in the deluxe edition, but with the season pass included at a whopping price of $119.99.
You talking about the first one or the second one?
The first one.
Yeah, okay.
And so then forward to last year, E3, when they announced that Battlefront 2, they will no longer have a paid season pass. All DLCs will be free. They're going to try to make it up to the player. And they did that, but then what did they do now? They bring out a loot box system, which
fucked it all up. Oops.
God, it's terrible. It is essentially gambling.
No, yeah, I don't know if it was a rumor or not. I heard that some country, I want to say like Norway or something in Europe, voted it or said it was targeting kids and that it was gambling. But
yep, that was the Norway Gaming Commission, I believe, and then also the state of Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Is making a big stand about it. Yeah, here in the United States, the state of Hawaii came out with that. This is a aggressive gambling targeting our youth, pretty much. And what anyone knows, if you don't know what the loot box system is, pretty much is you get in-game credits, and you get these boxes, which is randomly generated items you win to either help your character progression or whatnot. Or you can take the high road, and pay for it. So they offered what they came out with. We're no longer having paid DLC and season passes. They came out with this loot box system instead, which is a plague among gaming.
It is. Nathan said that EA is so toxic to gaming, they plan to do this with Anthem. Oh, dude, if they fuck up Anthem, I'm gonna be pissed. If they fuck with Anthem, I'm gonna be mad.
Isn't?
But
I thought Anthem was gonna. Yeah, I mean, oh god. I mean, it's kind of like, what do you expect though?
Yeah,
it's EA.
But it's BioWare, so I have a little bit of faith because you got Dragon Age, you got BioWare making like excluding Mass Effect Andromeda, which, to be fair, Andromeda got better once the patches came out. Like what they got day one sucked ass,
right.
But down the line, I've heard it's a way better game. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this. Still haven't played a Mass Effect game.
Oh no!
Yeah, still haven't played a Mass Effect game.
Cancel the stream. We're out.
I own them. I have call me a piece of shit, but I subscribe to to the Origins whatever it is, EA Access or whatever.
Yeah.
So you get access to like all those free games. All of the Mass Effect games are on there. Also another franchise I've never played, Dead Space. That's all on there. I plan to play that at some point.
Dead Space, I want to throw it quickly. Like, Dead Space 1 and 2 were great games, and then EA came out with their like microtransactions for Dead Space 3, and that game was like a steaming pile of horse crap. It was terrible.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that Dead Space 3 was really, really bad. But now let me put this out there: microtransactions done, pay to win microtransactions are bad. They're just bad no matter what. I shouldn't have to go up against some rich fucking kid whose dad owns EA and he gets to drop fucking $1,000 on the game day one and get way better shit than I do because I'm a broke ass fucking dude from North Dakota that can't afford that shit. But you go to Overwatch. Overwatch has good microtransactions. It's all cosmetics. It's all skins. It's all shit that you can earn. The only downfall with Overwatch's microtransactions is that you can't earn that currency in game. The only way you get that currency is by opening up loot boxes and getting duplicates, which is fine because you get a loot box every time you level up. No big deal. But that's a lot of leveling up to just buy a skin that's 1,000 gold. But if you take a game and you launch it, and you're like, this is our game, with no season pass, all of the DLC is going to be free, or all of the multiplayer DLC is going to be free. We're not going to split the player base like what Halo did. Here's all the maps. Here's everything else. If we're going to make a story-based DLC, we're going to charge you $15. I'm fine with that. Here's microtransactions. Here's loot boxes, all purely cosmetic. Nothing pay to win about it.
I love the whole cosmetic thing, right? I mean, a big example I use is Riot for League of Legends. They do skins. You pay for them, but the money you pay funds the competitive League of Legends tournaments.
Yeah.
So for people that buy skins, all that money goes to the prize pool for League of Legends tournaments. And I believe Overwatch does the same thing. Overwatch is owned by that game's made by Blizzard, right?
And who's Blizzard owned by?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which will bring us into Destiny in a little bit.
But they, I mean, it's so. Those two games did okay. I mean, I'm not, like, when you have it on cosmetics only, that's cool. But what Star Wars Battlefront 2 does is they have it set up to where it's tied to player progression.
Those cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only those star cards, but just guns, too.
Oh, yeah. But
if you want guns, you have to get scrap. The only way to get scrap in the game is to get it through loot boxes, which is randomly
given out.
It's randomly given out. So you can get 20 scrap in one loot box or 5 scrap in another loot box. And you can only unlock guns through scrap. You don't unlock guns as if you do in, like, say, Call of Duty by raising your player level.
By just leveling up,
You need to buy scrap for it. And you buy the first tier of a gun, then the next tier gun costs more scrap. So you have to keep grinding and grinding and grinding. Or pay to win.
Yeah.
Which that system belongs on free-to-play mobile games, not a AAA title, not something you spend $60 on, which I don't care who you are, $60 is a lot of money for the average person to spend. Like, that, for me, that is half of my groceries. I'm spending half of my money on food to buy a game that I really don't need.
Yeah.
But...
Well, and I'm in the same place. Like, I just bought Shadow of War. Which I loved Shadow of Mordor, so I went out and I bought Shadow of War. Granted, this month I got a new job. My Twitch money finally came in. I have a second job. Like, this month, I'm doing a lot better this month than I ever have in my life. So I was like, fuck it, ball out for a little bit.
Right.
Which is fine. That game also has microtransactions. But they're so non-intrusive in the game, yet. I'm not that far into the game, full disclosure. But they're so non-intrusive at this point in time that I forgot they were in there. Like, they don't force you to do anything. They don't force you to do, they don't force you to buy them. They don't force you to even look at that menu. It's just like, hey, here's a separate menu. Here's your armor. Here's your everything else. There's all that. But which I'm fine with. If you want to fund it by giving me a little bit of gold, that's all single player shit. If you're gonna have microtransactions in a single player game, fine. I'm okay with that. But now, the problem that I have is with, like, games like GTA. GTA is a perfect example of this. I was just doing the math with Orion last night. Me and Orion jumped back into GTA last night, and we were playing for a little bit. And we realized that, I want the new car. New car is like 3.2 million or something fucking weird like that. But you can't buy that car until you buy the executive garage, and the executive garage can only come with the executive offices, and the executive offices are like $1 million, and then the underground garage is like $1 million. The car is like $3.7 million. It's like by the time you were gonna get caught up on just one car from the recent shit, you needed like $12 million, which equates to it was like $150 fucking dollars real money to just buy these cars and buy these places that you needed to have these cars, just to get the current stuff in the game and have a little bit of fun without being stuck back in the shit that, you know, was in there when the game launched. And that's a big problem. The fact that I can't log on to your game and have fun with current content without an enormous price barrier, twice what I paid for the original game.
Right.
That's a problem. That's a big problem.
And we have one of our subjects too, that the trend that will die out, and I don't think it will. I mean, look how much we've been getting pushed on it. I'm going to do like a mini transaction to like mini transition to other stuff here, but like Halo 5, for example, they use the whole requisition system to, you know, if you can, you can play games and get Spartan points and get your Spartan points, whatever, to buy these packs, or you can spend real money to get more packs faster, and it only affects Warzone.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't play Warzone really, but you know, when you have stuff like that, it's still a pay to win. Like, these are subjects you expect to find on like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale,
mobile
you know,
games.
exactly, a free to play mobile game that, you know, you pay, like, because you're expected to pay. Okay, I can either grind out all these long hours or pay like $20 and get all the cards I need.
Yeah.
And then go online from there. It's but.
And Nathan just chimed in and said 2K also said this will be their business model for Red Dead 2.
Yes, that is. I was going to bring that up too. Like, I loved Red Dead Redemption, but if that is going to be like that way, and I haven't bought a sports game. That's a good thing that you got that up too, because sports games in particular, these recent ones are so bad. These loot boxes, like,
yeah.
If you want a good player, you know, hope to get one or buy one.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, like FIFA. FIFA has that whole big thing, which
God.
I can't lie, it's fun to watch. Like, KSI is a really big YouTuber. The reason I found KSI's channel was when he started he'd spend like $300 on opening packs, and that his whole video would be him opening and reacting to what he got in the packs, which is dumb when you say it out loud, but it was fucking entertaining to watch. But back to the Red Dead Redemption thing, how is that game? I never played it.
The first one was...
Well, Red Dead Revolver is the first one.
Right, and I played that a long time
That was on the
ago,
original Xbox.
But the Red Dead Redemption was coming off from GTA 4. That was a great game. It, like, Wild West setting.
Well, GTA 4 dropped the ball really bad, though.
Right, but, I mean, Red Dead Redemption, I don't remember having to pay for anything. The only thing that I paid for that was to get that Zombie Night.
The Undead Nightmare DLC.
The Undead Nightmare pack, which was worth it because that was its own standalone game. You
don't even need Red Dead Redemption to play that. Yeah.
You can spend the $20 at the time and get that, and then play Undead Nightmare, and then once you finish it, you can roam around the Wild West killing zombies still for the hell of it, and you really don't need that.
Hey, fun fact, chat. I didn't update our information to move us into the talk shows
Nothing.
category.
Did you get us?
I just switched us over now.
So, anyways,
whoops, professional
no,
streamer here.
Nathan said in Battlefront 2, aren't the heroes locked behind a paywall?
Yes, they are.
Yes,
Some of them
they
are. Like Darth Vader
Some of them were ridiculous. When the game first released, you needed someone on Reddit, and
it was 40 hours, or it was 40 hours in game, or it was like before they nerfed the cost of it. It was like
75,000 credits,
which equates to like $120 something.
Yeah,
it was something outrageous.
And that was just to unlock Darth Vader. You know,
yeah.
So I mean, how many heroes were at 75,000 credits? So yeah, and then it's just no good.
Yeah, no, they were locked behind a paywall. Some heroes were. And it was, I pulled up the article right here. It was, by some estimates, Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader could take close to 40 hours each to unlock. And that's if you got your credits and didn't spend them on anything else the
Right.
entire time. Or what did that say? Cost between 60,000 credits each, like Luke Invader, or even Leia and Chewie cost 40,000, which, oh shit, here we go. Average Galactic Assault mission length was 11 minutes. The average credits per match is 275. Average credits per minute of gameplay is 25.04. Average minutes required to earn a Trooper crate, and that's 4,000 credits, is 159 minutes, which is just over 2 hours. Gameplay minutes required to unlock one hero, 2,395.
Yeah.
How many hours is that?
I'm not gonna do the math off the top of my head.
Yeah, calculator. Where the hell my calculator goes?
Right
Over there. Okay, 2395.9. Hey, fucking my hotkeys are just switching us all around here. There's skeletons dancing in the background, a bunch of other shit.
This is not gonna be good right now. This is the first time doing this.
Divided by 60 equals 40 hours.
Oh yeah, right around rounded up 40
Yeah,
hours.
40
to
hours.
unlock one
Or
hero.
how much was the fucking real? One player calculated it would take $732 to unlock.
all the game's heroes, customization, skins, items, and emotes.
$732 to get the full game. That is
And-
fucking insane.
You know what's sad?
That
Like, well, that is sad. Like, there are players out there that have that money, and they're gonna fucking be like, oh, I don't care. I got like money is no object to me. I'm just gonna fucking make it rain on EA.
I can't fucking lie. If if I was doing all right in life and the stream was like, if I was like fucking, Shroud, Summit, Tim the Tatman level of shit, a game came out, if I played that and I was like 20, 30 hours into the game and I was like, fuck, I really like this game, I'd drop that money. I would. You seen how we did the math on how much that fucker makes?
Yeah,
He's not worried about that. Fuck that, dude. I would. I would in a heart. If I'm enjoying a game like that in a heartbeat.
There is.
I'm part of the problem. Like, I'm part of the problem because I know I'm part of the problem because in Destiny.
If you have the money, you do it. Yeah.
No, I back then I didn't even have the money. But when Destiny came out with the second DLC, or it was the third DLC with the Taken, and you could buy the little tiny stupid ass fucking boxes from Eververse and get the Taken armor. I spent $40 on that shit right on payday, and I had to skip my fucking light bill to get that armor. And I loved it. I'm part of the problem. I hate myself for it. I hate myself so much. We couldn't tell one of my clanmates that I did that. Like, my clanmate hated it so much that anytime he logged on, I switched armor, so he could not see me in that armor.
Right.
But at that point, I had been playing Destiny for 3 years at $60. Bought the DLC. I'm also one of the people that if I'm doing that and I'm enjoying the game, I'll give that company a little bit more money. I've gotten plenty of hours of enjoyment out of their game. I'll give them $40. That's fine, but that's also a different situation than what those were purely cosmetic stuff. You couldn't get pay to win stuff. It was cosmetic stuff.
Right.
Still a problem. Microtransactions still don't belong in games. They're obviously not going away, but if they stay cosmetic, I don't have a problem with it. Because nobody's forcing you to buy cosmetics.
Right, and that's exactly. I mean, for EA Battlefront 2, I wouldn't be that bad. But then, perfect segmentation.
Nathan just said he had to get my Farah Thunderbird skin. Nathan bought loot boxes in Overwatch.
Yeah.
So he could get it.
There is a...
Oh, are you honestly going to tell me, though, that you've never spent a cent on
No,
microtransactions?
I'm not going to tell you that
Okay.
because I have to.
Okay.
I know I have, but there's perfect transition point right there. We talk about EA. Frickin', I'm now just drawing a blank.
Before we move too far away from Destiny, though, Destiny 2 has it down. You can buy the bright engrams for real money. There are microtransactions. Again, all cosmetic stuff. You get ships and sparrows and shaders and stuff like that. But when you reach max level, you still get the EXP bar. Every time you level up, you get one of those engrams. So just by playing the game and leveling up, you get essentially the loot. The only problem that there was with that was one time the randomizers for the Nightfall were so hard people couldn't beat it.
Yeah. I
So
remember that.
people asked Bungie to be like, hey, can you fix this? And they said no. So then people made up that there was an engram farm and they were able to get bright engrams, which are the microtransaction paid stuff. They made a bunch of people on Reddit made up that you could do this, and they posted it to Reddit. Bungie caught wind of it, took the strike down, and changed it because they were losing money. Not because it was too hard, because they lost money. And it was fake. But that's a problem. The fact that they
Right.
were driven not by their community, but because, oh, hey, monetary value, we're getting fucked. Not our players are having a really hard time with this.
I just remember what I wanted to say about EA.
Let's go.
How we think it being linked to customization. EA, again, for those of you that don't follow the Star Wars Battlefront 2 or Reddit, I recommend you do, because it is just the whole page is them just bashing EA, and it's amazing. Like, I love, like, they're the reason they got the pay-to-win system temporarily blocked. Like,
Is it?
yes, it is,
Well,
because
no,
of
I mean-
all the community backlash.
Is
EA, we had a small win, like, go gamers, like, we got the nasty company to remove their pay-to-win system, so you can no longer spend real money on in-game crystals to buy loot boxes. So
But is it coming back? They said they said it.
it has been.
Okay.
And I'm assuming because it's the holiday season, they'll probably bring it back after Christmas because they want new players to play the game. But EA released another post on there, and I believe it was like
it was the most downvoted.
the most downvoted post on Reddit history.
Yeah.
Saying that how they justified the super long game time to unlock things was because and I'm not quoting it exactly, but we want players to feel accomplished when they complete something, or
If you're gonna paraphrase it, it was basically, "Don't be a bitch, play the game."
yes, and then
It was basically what
was
it
just
is.
backlash. Internet went wild. People like losing their minds, and for good reason too, because EA, Battlefield has just been, every year they just pound us with all these like battle packs. If you want to pay to win, or if it's not pay to win, it's pay to advance. If you spend more money, you have a higher shot of getting more ranks faster than you do the other person. So now, and then about customization, they released another thing just recently, 3 days ago. They released a post online saying that they shifted the blame off themselves onto LucasArts and Star Wars, saying that we chose our system not to be based on customization because Star Wars might not like that, because they want to have their game license and their name out there. Look what they want to do. That's total and utter crap.
Wasn't there also a petition going around of people trying to petition Disney to take the rights from Star Wars away from EA?
There has been. I don't know.
I don't know where
it's at right now, but I do know that Disney they cracked down and said, hey, you need to like fix whatever you do in your community base, because we have our new movie going to come out here December 15th, and we don't want people to get to not show it. So if you fuck up our money, we're gonna fuck up your money pretty much. And
which, to be fair,
Daddy Disney fucking slammed the hammer down on EA.
Let's be real about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I'm fucking hyped.
Yeah, I am too. It looks like be a really great movie. Me and my buddy Josh, we're gonna go see it that night. I have a little like mandate. So
I'm going opening night.
Cool, so
I have a really good theory about how it's gonna end, but I don't want to.
That's a conversation for another time right now.
If I'm right, which I think I'm right.
We could totally like derail this conversation.
Oh yeah, we could totally maybe a subject for the next podcast. Maybe leading because it'll be leading into The Last Jedi. If we do this weekly, we don't know what the fuck we're doing with this yet. Fucking hate incarnate. Yeah, dude. Yeah, EA was voted. When I was looking at that article, it was 3 times. It was 2 of them were back to back, and then one of them was later.
2 of them back to back, and then I think the third one was a few years later. But they were voted obviously worst company in America.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. Now you got you look at EA and all their news, like all their stocks, and their stocks dropped 8.9 points, I believe, around that, maybe a little bit more now, and all their Wall Street investors, like it's down bad, like
ouch.
And that's on the NASDAQ. So like, you got all these people with a lot of money in Wall Street, kind of like, okay, you know, we're putting our money into you to invest in this, and obviously players aren't liking this loot box system. What do we do to fix this? So I don't know what's going to happen right now. It seems like we're going to win. Like, gamers are winning this small battle right now. Who knows where it goes?
That's EA's stock right now, dude.
It dropped, and then, like, you know, 4.9% doesn't seem like a lot. But
in the stock market, that's a lot.
Like millions of dollars like that, that is a big drop. Especially when they released that whole public statement. We believe that removing the loot box, the paying for in-game money shouldn't affect our quarterly standards for the game, you know,
no,
which obviously it is still, because they removed it and people are still boycotting it.
Yeah. Oh, right here. EA loses $3 billion in stock value for Battlefront 2 microtransaction.
Right.
It's.
They pushed gamers too far. They kept pushing them, and this was the final straw. And no matter what happens, all their posts to the public, they've tried to shift the blame on others. They haven't really taken full responsibility, and it's a mess. And I haven't bought a game from EA since SimCity.
Dude, if you go to the 1 year... Hold on, Chad. Let me turn this back on for a second here. If you go to the 1 year mark under here and you look, like, it's 1 year ago, or wait, no, November. What day is this? Where was the high point? October 31st of this year. What happened? October 31st, 2017. Game.
I think that was when they were coming out with the...
Was it just before?
Well, they had the... Because Star Wars Battlefront 2 released November 17th, but on November 9th, they had the...
The beta?
No, it was the first access, or the... EA First Access, or whatever it is called. So those guys got to play the game before anyone else to launch.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where we should probably shift away from EA also and get into some of our other topics. But
right,
EA is dropping the ball as hard as they can. The only thing that sucks is EA can literally take that ball and slaughter a fucking toddler with it and get away with it. Like, they're almost untouchable at this point, and it sucks.
This topic was microtransactions in games, and we got to EA, and I'm going to shift it over to still continuing the microtransactions about our Call of Duty topics.
Before we get there, before we get to the Call of Duty thing, before we move away from EA, the Destiny XP nerfs. Have you heard about this?
I have. You'll have to inform me. I haven't been following any Destiny 2.
Destiny 2 is a fuck up, a mishap on almost every possible level. It's a fun game, but once you hit max light, that's it. All of your upgrades, all of your everything is locked behind next week. You can only get so many upgrades a week. But before it came out, there was all these like, hey, buy Red Bull or buy Rockstar, 3 different kinds of Rockstar. You get the code on the back, you get XP, you get bonus XP. Buy Pop-Tarts, you get bonus XP, all that type of shit. Came out recently that you didn't get bonus XP. Bungie just turned down the XP game, and you had to put in, I think, if I remember right, you had to put in both the Rockstar code and the Pop-Tart code to get to normal XP game. What should have been normal, you had to put in both codes to get to it. Yeah. And it finally came out, and people were fucking pissed. Because as a player, like as me, I didn't put in any of those codes. So I played through the game with what I assumed to be about half XP the entire time. I wasn't going to... One, I only play hunters, and I looked all over in fucking town. I was gonna buy a code. Could not find the code for the blue fucking Rockstar. Nowhere in town had it. So I just said, fuck it. I'm not gonna buy random ass Pop-Tarts to get Destiny codes either. Like, I was gonna buy a Rockstar. I can do that, no problem. But me and Jordan have very different ideas of what's a good Pop-Tart, and I'm not gonna buy myself Pop-Tarts because I don't always feel like a damn Pop-Tart.
Right.
So it's fucking... Yeah, but yeah, that came out. Destiny 2 severely dropped the ball. It lost, like... it's sitting at a right around like 70% left of its player base, like 25% left. It just dropped the ball. It had such a good thing going. They had so much momentum coming out of Destiny 1, and then Destiny 2 came and they fucking crashed that train.
Momentum and Destiny, that's where I disagree with you there. Like, I played Destiny 1 a little bit, and granted, this is when the game first released, so
yeah,
everything was locked behind the season pass. They had the content already there on the disc.
Yep.
But it's like, you must purchase a season pass and wait for this. I'm like, if it's already on the game?
That the reason I say momentum with Destiny 1 is because up until year 2, and this isn't a justification. I realize that when I buy a game, I shouldn't have to wait 2 years for the game to get good.
Right.
I shouldn't.
Right.
That's dumb. But that's in the case of Destiny 1. That's what happened. Year 2, that game got so much fucking better. And year 3, it got the best that it ever was. It was so much fun. There were so many guns. There was so much to do. They finally fixed their game leading into year 3. And, out of year 3. But they completely stopped the hype train altogether with Destiny 2. And it sucks.
Yeah.
But speaking of
well, they did pretty good marketing. When I saw those like CGI trailers for Destiny 2, I was like, okay, this looks pretty fun. Like the story ones, those look intense.
The thing that they're pissing me off now is tomorrow. Come back for the stream tomorrow. Huh? Me and my clan are going to be streaming the new DLC for Destiny 2, which once again, the game's only been out for 2 months. There is no reason I should be paying $15 fucking to get access to DLC 2 months into a game. That's content that was already done. Without a doubt, that's already done. So why am I having to, but, fucking stupid ass me and my fucking clan's like, hey, let's stream it. We've streamed everything since Destiny, year 2 of Destiny, every DLC launch, everything, we've streamed it. We're going to keep going. Fine, let's go, guys. So now I have to fucking pay $15 for something that I don't personally like, and I don't think it's going to fix Destiny, but
that's, that's just what you got for Corporate Commander. For all those that follow the Angry Joe show, he does very good Corporate Commander. He does the whole snake face and everything from G.I. Joe, and it's like, he took your fucking money.
I guess it would be from G.I. Joe, yeah, because I was going to say, wouldn't it be from Metal Gear Solid?
No, yeah.
Another game I haven't played any of.
Cobra Commander, but Corporate Commander, yeah. It's I mean, Activision is almost as bad as EA, and they're the ones that published Destiny 1 and 2, and it's from a game company that for the majority of our childhood we remember Bungie from is Halo. Everyone had Halo, no matter if they hated it or loved it. That was like the most popular game on Xbox growing up, and it's just I really hope it's not Bungie. I just hope it's Activision kind of forcing them. And the same thing with like EA, because DICE, they're a good company. They're a good game developer.
They are.
But I'm assuming they don't have much push against their publisher telling okay, you need to add this. You need to throw in pay-to-win stuff.
So, how do you feel, on the topic of all this, Visceral got bought by EA recently and then shut down. So that means that there's going to be no more Dead Space.
Visceral Studios, that's one thing too. They shut down that Star Wars game,
which makes that the second Star Wars game that was damn near done to just be canceled. Because 1313 was that bounty hunter game that took place on Coruscant. All the reports that I ever seen said that game was 90% of the way done, and it got shut down. And Visceral was working on that Star Wars game for 3 years, and it just got shut down.
That is just...
which I can't help but feel.
I understand. Well, they were like, okay, we're trying to put all of our eggs in one basket for
that's fine.
Battlefront 2,
But now how the fuck do they feel if they've already announced, like, hey, this is canceled. We bought and canceled your game to make Battlefront 2 more profitable. This is great. And then Battlefront 2 failed as fucking hard as it did. And now they're like, well, can we re-announce that game and finish that now? They won't do it.
No.
They're just going to eat the cost and move on because that's fucking what they do.
Much. I mean, The amount of money they make is staggering. I guess because there's no matter what we complain about here, and I'm not trying to bash any other people out there, but there's always going to be non-informed people that just be like, "Oh, Star Wars, Battlefront 2. I like Star Wars. I have money. I'll buy that." Cha-ching. Or with their more popular sports series, I like Madden. I like
Yeah.
the NFL.
And you know what sucks? I don't like Madden. I've stayed away from Madden for so long. I went to go visit my sister, and her husband really wanted to play Madden. So he's like, "Oh, let's go rent Madden." So we rented Madden, and I hate to admit it, but I had a fucking fun time playing Madden.
It's fun, but the games. My big thing is the games haven't changed.
No, they haven't.
They're the same every year. Okay, they update player standings and stats. You know, they bring in all the rookies that drafted and stuff, and they give them cool playlists.
It's updated
and now
constantly.
I think
yeah.
they just had that whole like star mode, or they subbed it with FIFA, and now they're doing it with the NBA and
Which,
the NFL too, where
if
you
I
can
could-
be a star. And
If
make
I
a
could
player.
buy that piece of content standalone and not have to buy FIFA, I would buy that.
Yeah,
Like if I could just get that game where I just work with that dude through his progression through the storyline, both on the FIFA side and the NBA side. I don't like sports games, but what they did with that genuinely looked interesting.
it was a new take on it, and they brought that in to like fresh it up too, because no one really before they reached that. What did you have? You had dynasty mode,
Which sucked.
which is just the same thing every fucking year. Pick your team, play against the standings. And
Yep.
then you had like, I think Madden had the fantasy modes where you can actually link, your like fantasy picks. I believe. I think that was the thing about it.
yeah.
You make your own fantasy picks for the stories. But
BioWare and DICE are both good companies, but EA can do what they want. Yeah, EA is pretty much untouchable at this point. Like with how big
They
they are.
are.
As much as it sucks, we can bitch about it all
BioWare-
day long. That's just what they are. EA fucked Visceral 2. Dead Space could have been the next Resident Evil, but they screwed it with 3. Yeah, also, the other thing I want to play that's on my list is Resident Evil 7. I don't like Resident Evil games, but 7 genuinely looks like a good game.
see, I haven't played a Resident Evil game in a long time. Maybe you can fill me in on.
I can't. I watched a streamer play through it all the way back when I got home. Have to drive home from work. All right, dude, drive safe, Nathan. I don't know if it's as bad as it is here. Here's not horrible. It's just really shitty to drive in. You live in a bigger city. Just make it home safe, dude.
Roads are icy here.
Yeah, roads are kind of shitty here. But moving real quick, pivoting away from EA again because somehow we got back to pissing on EA.
Yeah, we'll continue this.
Halo.
Oh, this
Before
is
we move on to-
something that I can tell you. a lot
Before we
about.
move on to Zach, if Halo 6 came out and they said, "Hey, Halo 6 will be the last game with Master Chief. We're gonna end Master Chief storyline. Halo 6. That's it." Would you be alright with that?
We've had the Master Chief through 1, 2, 3, and
4 and 5
right now. Granted, with Halo 5, you mainly played with Spartan Locke more so than like there's
Chief.
like only like 4 Chief missions or 5 Chief missions, and the rest Spartan Locke missions. But I mean, I think the majority of people there is if you go on like the 343 forums, there is a lot of people that love the campaign. They got these Halo lore masters.
Yep.
And like, good job to those guys for like
They
keeping
spend
up
a
with the
lot
game,
of time. Yeah.
They spend a lot of time with that. But I think a lot of people really, it probably wouldn't feel the same, especially if they're like, okay, this is Halo 6, this is
But-
the last Master Chief. He's done.
I
He's
don't-
over.
I don't think
that it wouldn't feel the same because they tried it with Reach.
Reach was my favorite. I was just gonna say.
No, I loved Reach. Reach was great online, but
Yeah.
the storyline,
I
it
liked
was
the
cool
story.
playing as the other Spartans too. But that was more of like, it seemed like they tried to do more of like a Call of Duty thing. You had like your team,
I could see that, yeah. I was just gonna say I don't think it needs to feel the same because you look at ODST and Reach, and those were very good Halo games. Like,
Yeah, no.
I mean, but I think at this point, 6 Halos in, you completely misled the player base and fucked with the player base on Halo 5. Because going into Halo 5, you guys had the Hunt the Truth podcast that was amazing to listen to that I followed every fucking week. I don't know if you listened to that.
I did too.
That was
Everyone they
amazing.
followed on Facebook. Boom. click
And then
on it.
fucking all of the commercials and stuff all were leading into Chief betrayed everyone, Locke's doing it, blah blah. when you got into the game, it basically ended up being Locke being like, hey, you're coming with us. And Chief was like, no, I'm not. You don't understand. Oh, cool. All right, then. We're going to fight. And then they literally fought one fucking time.
Yeah.
And then they separated the entire game until the end where Locke walks back up and he goes, I believe you now. And then the game ends. It's like, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
that
dude? You
was-
completely fucked up the entire storyline.
I mean,
We played.
they had Halo 4 and they made Halo 4. This is like the first time because in the older Halos, I mean, you were the Master Chief, but you had no feelings. He had no feelings. I mean, other than
Yeah.
what he felt for Cortana, obviously. But like you
were just.
the whole point of him being the Master Chief is and having his helmet on with no face is the player can assume identity with him. Like, okay, I am the Chief. You know, I don't have to follow a certain storyline. Now in Halo 4, they made Chief more human. You know, he feels more. All these regrets and stuff. And now in Halo 5, they did the whole Spartan Locke thing, and totally from a marketing standpoint,
Yeah. Marketing, great.
good
but
job. You know, yeah.
You watch all that marketing and then play the game and you're like, where the fuck was that
Exactly,
storyline at?
exactly. It's like, where's this, like, because when I first played it, I was, like, expecting a battle. Like, okay, it's Spartan Locke versus Chief, all these wars, and then it's, like, one cutscene that lasts 2 minutes. And I'm like,
When it came out, I recorded all of my gameplay from the entire campaign. It was like, I think I spent like a solid 8 or 9 hours on it. I deleted all the files. I recorded everything, and then later that day, we played together. Launch day. It was me, you, Cody, and somebody else. I remember that because it was the first time I ever played a game with you, Zach. We played online together on Halo 5. But as soon as we were done, or as soon as I was done with the campaign, I deleted the files for the campaign because instantly I knew that this wasn't going to go anywhere. I can't do anything with this content. This content sucks. But I wouldn't have minded them making Chief more human in Halo 4. I wouldn't have minded that at all. If they also didn't take the Arbiter and completely kick the Arbiter out of the game, pretty much, and then take Cortana, because she was your emotion for the entire game. My fucking monster can is vibrating with my voice. This has to go somewhere else. Cortana was your emotions. So what they did was they took Cortana's emotions and gave it to Chief, and then took Cortana and turned her up to fucking 11, and made her one of the most annoying things in Halo the entire series. When Cortana started to go absolutely batshit crazy, I didn't like it. I can fine, go crazy. Don't go so fucking crazy that, it's annoying as shit. Oh, that was just, I guess, personally.
right.
But
No, yeah, I mean, they took a more in-depth storyline through Halo 4, and then they made the whole Chief Cortana connection a lot stronger than it ever was.
and don't get me wrong, I still liked the game. I still liked that
the storyline was great.
they
to be
beefed it up.
honest. Yeah,
I just didn't like that every time you ran into Cortana, she was basically just yelling. I get she was going rampant and everything else, but
I didn't really get any of that enough. But we have one thing too, like the Halo series and that's been around for a while. Then they go to like this new studio like 343, which Halo 4 was for campaign wise was really good, but for online play, you have, I remember the exact numbers too. It was like 400 and some thousand people playing online at launch day. And then a month later, that number cut in half.
yeah.
And it just kept spiraling down afterwards.
I remember that 343 were the people from Bungie that when they split and they're like, hey, we're going to make Destiny. Those people were like, we still want to make Halo, we're going to split. And they went and made their own studio. Which is fine. But they didn't take the writer. The writer stayed. And then immediately Bungie shit on the writer by completely cutting everything he wrote for Destiny. And it just like... And then in the midst of all that, they decided to redo everything and put out the Master Chief Collection. But the reason the Master Chief Collection sucked so hard was they had 4 different companies making a remaster in the game and then trying to stitch it together.
And then it failed. That was like... And I've been a die-hard Halo player since the first game.
Day one.
mean, when I remember the story. My dad we went to freaking Toys R Us, and we bought an original Xbox, and the first game I got was Halo.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it ever then. So I've been playing on like the competitive side since Halo 3 and doing this and trying to go up to there. And the Master Chief Collection was like a dark time for the Halo community. Like that was when, if Halo could be called dead, that was when it was dead for the longest time. I was like, the game, I remember it, I was like, I got the game at launch. I'm like, all right, fucking gonna get in some old school Halo.
Yeah,
and I
Halo.
hop on in, I download, which took like 20 hours to install the game. I'm like, oh my god.
It's like at this point, I
it's,
think when I reinstalled it, it's like 98 gigs.
yeah, it's
it's
something stupid.
unreally
it takes
big.
forever. And then I got into the game and nothing worked.
Yep.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go kill myself.
My
now
same thought.
for-
I was like, dude, Halo 2, Tower of Power. Let's fucking like. I miss that shit. Let's go. Oh, I get disconnected every 5 seconds. Can't find a match for 20 fucking minutes. Okay, well I'm gonna go play.
uneven teams.
Yeah.
I had some games it'd be like 6v2.
Yeah, it was-
This is cool.
Yeah, it was rough. And I can't even say that they went back and fixed it because it's still like. At first, it was a steaming pile of dog shit, and now it was just a pile of dog shit that kind of sat out in the sun and stopped steaming, but it's still kind of just there.
Right.
Like it's a little bit better. You can't smell it, but it's still there. Like it just
It-
kind of it sucks.
And then when they had Halo 5, yeah, they had I think the majority of people that bought the Master Chief Collection after the launch was to play the Halo 5 beta.
Yeah.
And the beta was cool. I played the beta, and then when I bought Halo 5, I remember I downloaded that on launch night too. Downloaded and it worked. I'm like, okay, this is cool. But
Yeah.
we have a subject is like, why did Halo 5 die out? Like, well,
I think that has a lot to do with the one right above that, the Master Chief Collection.
that left a sour taste in a lot of Halo community. But when you have Halo 5, they focus so much on esports, which
Yeah.
is fine. I love the competitive side of Halo. It's when you had the ranks and a certain post on Beyond Entertainment, Team Beyond Forums.net, his name's Infinity. He came out with like a comprehensive post on Halo 5 ranking system, and it was like it's like a paragraph and a half, a page and a half. You need to read it, and it's really good. And that is why I believe Halo 5 died out. When you have these ranks that reset every month, and these CSR, these
Who was the guy that posted it?
Infinity, these CSR, these competitive skill ranks that are supposed to reset every month, that they don't really mean competitive rank, and it just got tiring for players overall.
It really did. I mean, I can't. This is a subject that I can't really bitch about too much because I have Halo 5 installed, but I don't have anybody to play with, so I stopped playing it.
Right.
So I just like
I stopped playing it too. I don't even play. I mean, like if my buddy asks me to play, I'll play it. If not,
yeah.
I don't
Like
play anymore.
a guy I work with now, I asked him, I was like, well, what do you play? He goes, I play a lot of Halo 5 now. I was like, cool, we're gonna hook up, we're gonna play. Fuck, I've been working there for a month, haven't played once. Like it just like it's a game that I reminisce about a lot that I'm like, fuck, I should go play Halo. And then I never go back to play Halo, which says a lot about the game. I mean,
there's a whole lot to be said about the competitive side of Halo. But,
Yeah.
and it's kind of Halo will never be as big as it used to be. I remember back in the day, you'd buy 12 packs of Dr. Pepper, and there'll be Major League Gaming
Yeah.
straight ripping Halo 3 team on each can. You know, that was when Halo was in its prime, I think. They had like all these sponsors, Hot Pockets. You'd buy boxes of Hot Pockets, and it'd be like official sponsor of Major League Gaming on the box.
they made an entire brand of Mountain Dew because of Halo.
Yeah.
Like that's how big Halo was. Like it's sad. Like look at how down me and Zach are right now because Halo is such a big part of our fucking childhood,
Yeah,
and now
well,
we're talking about it like it just sucks now. Wow, that's unprofessional.
What?
My phone going off,
Oh,
and it just like it makes me just sad. Like I honestly, for a hardcore Halo fan to sit here and be like, you need to kill off the main guy. You need to kill off Chief in 6 for me to be interested again. Like you need to move on from the Chief storyline. You can't keep
that's
beating Chief
right.
to death.
You
Like,
gotta-
you just either retire him, but there's no way he's going to be retired because he's retired at fucking the end of Halo 3 and the end of Halo 4. He retired. Or 2 and 4, or was it 3? I don't know. 3, he got locked, or either way, he's retired like twice in the course of the games, and they keeps killing him back. You have to just kill him off. It's gonna suck, but
I don't want to loop this back to like microtransaction nothing, but you got like this is Microsoft's flagship title.
yeah,
I mean, for the Xbox One, they had the Master Chief Collection at launch. Now they stress so much of Halo 5, and it's I think as long as it keeps producing money, Microsoft is going to keep riding that
check, yeah.
that check train all the way to
Well, Halo was also a big part of their HoloLens demonstration in during E3 one year when they had the closed door HoloLens presentation, like with their badass AR thing.
yeah.
Their whole thing was they had in the back, it was all set up that you put on the HoloLens and it was Halo style waypoints and like Halo overlay on the HoloLens to go around. So not only was that their flagship product, but they were also still banking on that for the HoloLens to use Halo to sell that. Like, Halo is a big thing for Microsoft, but I think 343 needs to really step up their shit and
I don't
put fucking split screen back in the goddamn game.
which has been confirmed already.
Yeah,
that they
that-
will. Yeah, it has
well,
been
that
confirmed
and
that they'll bring it back.
it's also been confirmed that, yeah, they said split screen's coming back. They know they fumbled with that. But the lead writer came out and he goes, we're going to focus on Chief more. Halo 6,
Which
we
is
made a
great.
misstep. We're going to
Well,
focus on Chief.
That was, because they tried to shove this Locke character down your throat right away. It's like I've spent 5 games with the
Chief.
Master Chief. All right, like
Yeah.
who is this guy? I
What-
don't care about Spartan Locke.
What really bothered me about it was if you read like the books and stuff, Fred and all the other Spartans on Chief's team were all Spartans that were trapped somewhere, and then suddenly they're just like, oh yeah, they're on a team again. But then the thing that I was like, okay, fine, suspend my disbelief. They magically got out of the place they were trapped in, and they're on
Well, that
Chief's
was why
team.
you had to read the books.
Yeah.
Because they.
But that's another subject. You could have made 4 missions out of that. Me going to fucking rescue my whole team. Like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm being betrayed. What's up? The other thing that pissed me off was the fact that they just took Buck out of ODST. And they're like, oh yeah, he's a Spartan now too. And I'm like, what the
And
fuck,
there was
dude?
really no outside canon source for that. Like, there was no book about that. As far as I know, there wasn't any book or comic made by, 343 or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, sponsored writers they have.
And don't get me
write their
wrong,
shit.
you put Nathan Fillion in anything, I'm fine with it.
Great, I love
Cool.
Nathan Fillion.
Fillion's the shit, yeah. But the fact that there was just really no reason for him to become a Spartan.
I think a lot of Halo 5 was they realized they fucked up so much with the Master Chief Collection, they owed it to fans, so they just started we're gonna have all this cool stuff. And from the beginning of the game, they were like, free DLC,
Yeah.
every month a new map or
Yeah.
a new game type, which was
Great.
great, awesome.
What was the game mode that they had in Halo 4 where it was just like little tiny stories?
Spartan Ops.
Yeah. Fucking that was so great. I've never finished all of Spartan Ops.
That was
But
was a nice way to
Spartan
have
Ops was great, yeah.
players earn additional skill and stuff.
Like
so
just
you
like
don't wanna
here's
play
this
online.
doesn't deserve a full mission, but here's a little tiny thing. Like
Right.
here's another cool. They could have had Spartan Ops for me to go get my fucking team for Master Chief. Like that's always gonna piss me off. Like always that you had such a cool storyline introducing us to other Spartan 2s.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of nowhere, you're just gonna be like, yeah, these dudes are raiding a fucking ship.
Well,
Like,
those were Spartan 4s. Yeah, those new ones.
Frank and stuff? Were
Yep,
all?
yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those were those high-speed fuckers.
Oh, I thought those were all Spartan 2s, and then all of Locke's team was all Spartan 4s.
No, they were...
Okay, I thought it was like basically old school
Yeah,
versus
the
new
only
school.
Spartan 2s were the ones that I know of alive are... obviously, Jerome 092, which is on the Halo Wars game, and his team, Red Team, and you got Chief and Blue Team. The only ones left.
Well, that and if you watched Hunt the Truth, they cover the old Spartan 2s and how they made them. They basically just kidnapped kids and left a clone there to die.
Flash clone, like kidnapped him at I remember in the books it was like age 8 or
Yeah.
8 or 9 or something.
I don't know if they
Kidnapped
said
him
it
at a
in Hunt the
young
Truth,
age,
but yeah, it's really young. And then they just left a clone there to die, so everyone would think that kid was dead, and they were just experimenting on the kids.
Right.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, we kind of
Yeah.
spiraled on there a little bit on Halo, But
Halo means a lot to us. Leave us
it
alone.
does. So, but with the theme of the death of gaming, you know, and it just we
I know where
talked
you're going
about
with this, and I'm
EA,
gonna refute this because this is it's a good fucking game.
the microtransactions.
Oh no, I thought you were gonna go after the death of gaming and Call of Duty World War II.
I am.
World War II is a great fucking game. Dude, no, like they didn't. I can't say they fixed it because there's still microtransactions. There's still a bunch of bullshit, blah blah.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's just Activision stuff. And I'm not
Yeah.
taking away anything from Sledgehammer.
Have you played it?
Sledgehammer, I own it.
oh, it's
Yeah.
fucking fun.
I mean, it is. I can't
I get what
lie,
you're saying.
I have fun,
I get what
but
you're saying,
like,
but yeah.
I don't think it's anything new. I mean,
No.
you have like Black Ops 3 and that Spartan, not Spartan, still on Halo, Call of Duty,
Be okay with that.
Infinite
Infinite Warfare.
Warfare, like they're jetpacking around and stuff.
And Black Ops
and
3
now they
had
go
that.
back to like World War II, but
Well-
it's the same thing. And Call of Duty, they're notorious. They pump these games out every year. Like, okay, you know, cash flow revenue is like, it's just bringing into us. They like always bring in this cash, but
Well-
it's nothing really changes. And I can't speak on the competitive side of it, but nothing really changes in these games
Whoops.
besides a few things here and there, guns, nothing like that. So
Look at me fucking everything up in the middle of the goddamn thing because I
Yeah,
wanted to
no,
change
you're-
one setting. God damn it. All right, anyway. I just don't like that I'm looking that way and you're also looking that way. But my webcam's flipped. So when I'm looking at my screens, I'm looking at my screens over there.
oh,
So I was like, well, fuck, it's bothering me now. So I was going to go in and flip my webcam. But since it's active, I can't.
it's fine.
Yeah, we'll fix it. We'll fix it later.
Like, you think? I mean, I'm not saying I have fun in Call of Duty. Like me and Jack, we'll play zombies.
I hate zombies.
All fucking really.
I hate zombies.
Oh, I
Mostly
like-
because I'm just really bad at zombies.
I like
but-
the new zombies mode. I think it's.
I heard that
pretty
it has like a
interesting.
storyline and shit now, kind of.
does,
Well,
it's
they've
good.
had a storyline for a little while,
They've
but
been coming out with. I mean, I kind of miss the, you know, knock through and totem map where it's
Yeah.
just like you see how many rounds you can live, you know,
Yeah.
defend yourself. That was fun. But now they got all these little mini quests and things
One
to
of
do
the-
with zombies.
one of the reasons I hate zombies so much is once you get to a certain point, it's less about here's an easy introduction, here's a little bit harder. You need to have a lot of skill, and then the skill base completely drops the fuck off, and it's just how many zombies can you train behind you while you turn around, take a couple shots, and keep running. Granted, don't get me wrong, that still takes some skill to do, but not nearly as much skill as it does to get to that point. Like once you get to that point and you get your guns and everything, and you get your pack of punches, you get your guns leveled up, or you get your guns transformed and all that type of shit, the skill base drops off, and you just have to run in a circle and turn around and take a couple shots at a couple zombies.
Well, now they don't even have they got these new zombie loadouts. So you pick your mods
Yeah,
and
I was
stuff,
reading
and
that
so,
too.
like,
Yeah,
You can spawn in with, which essentially Juggernaut. They call it some German word, but it's
wow, that's racist.
yeah, I'm not trying to be racist. I don't know German, but it's pretty much armor.
We
You
love
spawn
that
in
war.
with
I don't know
armor.
German.
Yeah, and then so you got that going. So you can spawn in a game. If you unlock your loadout to level 5, you can get Pack Mule right away.
You have it for the Xbox?
Yeah.
Nah.
So what took, like in old zombie games, you had to just, you know, okay, I have to find the actual pack mule machine, keep going and do all this. Now you can just load up your zombie loadout with the pack mule mod, and you can instantly carry 3 weapons.
Yeah.
And
It
it's
seems
still
like
fun to play.
I was gonna
It's
say, it
just-
seems like now that they did that, like you're tapering off and saying you know you don't like it. I think now is when I would step in and be like, I like zombies now.
it's
I'm a piece of shit like that.
yeah, I know you are, but it's not bad. I have my complaints with Call of Duty. Obviously, every year they pump these games out. There's not a whole lot of difference, and I'm kind of really grateful we don't have like my social media out there right now, because I can't imagine how many Call of Duty kids, if they do see this, will like eat me alive.
Well,
They'll be like, "Oh my fucking god!"
they
no."
can. The Call of Duty kids can kind of take a day off your Adderall and think about the fact that when Advanced Warfare came out, or when Infinite Warfare got announced, they asked if they were going to switch their style up because Battlefield was going back to World War I. And the lead creator for Activision. I think it was him. I can't remember. I can go back and look and fix this next time. But he said, no, we're going to be moving, like we're going to keep going into the future, into space. Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare bombed so fucking hard it knocked them back to World War II. Like,
Back to the roots.
yeah,
You know,
like
back
the
what
dude
made
was
us
like,
great.
no, we're going forward. Oh, we literally didn't sell any copies at all. There was a literal time where there was a screenshot. Somebody bought it on the Windows Store, and there was one other person playing. Like he posted a screenshot, and he's like, "Hey, Microsoft, can I have a refund?" Like Microsoft gave him a refund because there was one other person playing that fucking game
Right.
on the window on the Windows side. I don't know. Call of Duty World War II is a better Call of Duty than what has come out recently.
That I will agree with you. It has. It's fun to play.
It's just fun. Like it's back to the roots. It's not running and jumping all over walls, which, to be fair, in Black Ops 3, I liked. Black Ops 3 did it right with the jetpacks and everything else. Black Ops 3 was a fun game to play. It was an easy game to, grasp. Everything that came after that just tried to step it up and kept going way too far.
They did.
But
yeah,
taking
Ghost was terrible.
Taking it back to the roots, Ghost had one good thing for it, and that was the squad mode or where the fuck it was, where you make your squad of people like of AI, and you go to somebody else's like fortress or whatever the fuck. I can't remember how the fuck it went, but you go there and that person picked the map they wanted to play on and trained their guys, and you had to go beat that person on their turf with their guys in their playing style. That was fun. Ghost did that really fucking well, but it was a one-time thing and it completely disappeared.
The only thing I like about Ghost is when they had those maps to where like if you get that hidden score streak, you can be Michael Myers and then map, or you can be Predator and then jungle map. That was that was cool. I was like, fuck, I'm Predator. Fuck yeah, I go invisible, use my plasma caster to shoot shit.
In your opinion, Zach, what does Call of Duty need to stop in order to get back to where they were? Granted, they're still a gaming juggernaut. They're still a AAA title that's going to sell billions of copies every fucking year no matter what. But if they want to become the next, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, get back up to that fucking everyone's talking about this game, what do they need to stop?
Well, for one, I mean, I don't think Call of Duty I'll get to it. I don't think Call of Duty will ever not be relevant, especially to PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because for one, they do have that $1 million tournament every year, and Call of Duty is still one of the highest streamed games on Twitch. So, what they need to stop doing to get back to stuff, and I'm sure a lot of people would hate me for this. I don't like the whole custom loadout thing anymore. I like, especially when they had, when I thought they were going to, when they brought back Call of Duty World War II. I remember getting Call of Duty 2. There was no custom loadouts. You picked either, you had like a submachine gun, a rifle, an assault rifle, a light machine gun, or a sniper rifle. You couldn't add customizations and all this stuff to it. For Call of Duty World War II, that's where it gets a little kind of weird for me, is because how you have guys, he has like a Thompson submachine gun with like quick draw, grip, and a scope on it, and he has like a fourth perk for like rapid fire. Like that wasn't how World War II was.
Okay, I didn't know where you were going with this, and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Try to bring it a little bit more realistic. It's like World War II times, and that was what made from like Call of Duty 2 was the first game I had for my Xbox 360, and that was fun. Just having no score streaks, no loadouts, just you pick a weapon and you play on the map and you have fun. And I think if they did that, that would be a cool change. I'm not familiar on hardcore mode. I remember the older Call of Duties, they had a game to where the competitive settings, they only had certain loadouts. You can't use actually your own custom loadouts. So that would give players a better advantage to, you played 400 more hours than me, so you have way more stuff unlocked than I do. So if I try to play against you, it's like not really fair.
Yeah, I see that. That's why I like hardcore. That's why I actually only exclusively play hardcore. Because it doesn't matter what gun you have, one bullet is one bullet.
Right.
But like the downfall of hardcore is my dad was watching me play at the family gathering I had the other night. And I was explaining to him and my brother-in-law was like, yeah, hardcore is really fun. It's one bullet, one kill, you know, shit like that. I was like, but the thing that sucks is two people over across the map can be having a firefight. I can catch a stray bullet and die. And as I was explaining that, a stray bullet came through a building and got me. I was like, that right there, that can happen. I was like, I had nothing to do with that. Don't even know who the fuck those guys were. But I like it because it does add that factor of realism. It doesn't matter what gun they have. You know, boom, shot, dead. I didn't know where you were going with the loadout thing, and I was kind of a little bit concerned with it. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, the loadouts are what's fun. But you're completely right, though. Like, in World War II, you weren't fucking putting all that shit on your gun. Like, there's no such thing as a quick draw. Like,
No
you know,
one
in a
had,
real gun,
like,
it's like, you know, you get the full grip and that's it.
No one stormed the beaches of Normandy with
A rapid fire,
a rapid
yeah.
fire PPSH, you know, that's...
I
mean, that's a small gripe, too. That I can forgive, but it's just, I mean, they... Like, the one thing I hate about Call of Duty is it's just so cookie cutter, and they need to... Sledgehammer needs to do something with the next title to really change it up. There needs to be change. We've seen all the custom loadouts, all these score streaks are
the same score streaks.
The same score streaks as any other Call of Duty game. It's just so cookie cutter, and they need to come up with something new, something fresh, while staying to the core gameplay.
The thing that I liked this time around is there's no tracking bazooka, rocket launcher.
Well, that is great.
So when I call in a recon,
they didn't have that technology.
Obviously, but when I call in a fucking a recon plane, it doesn't get shot down instantly. Like,
right. Yeah.
Like, there was some matches of Black Ops 3 where me and Orion would fucking call it in, and like the fucking map would flash up, and then it'd be there for like 3 seconds, and boom, boom, and it'd be gone.
That's why I never ran that score streak, because everyone had a launcher in their back.
Oh yeah, me and Orion, it was exclusively when we walked into a game, it's like, okay, what are you running? You're running that? Okay, do you have the launcher? Do I have the launcher? Like, one of us always had it, so the other team, and it became an essential part of the game. But Black Ops 3, don't get me wrong, had a lot of fucked up microtransactions, like the fact that they were locking weapons behind the microtransactions.
Paywalls.
Yeah, that was fucked up. But
Activision.
yeah. But you know, moving on to our next point though is do you think single player games are eventually going to be a thing of the past? Do you think that no matter what it is, whether it be a Watch Dogs or it be a Destiny, whatever it is, you're going to have an always on game no matter what? The fact that you're always connected to the internet no matter what, and that microtransactions can affect your single player experience. Do you think that's gonna be a thing?
I mean, no one likes talking about DRM, but
I think DRM's an essential part of gaming.
it is. It's 2017 right now, and the internet's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Well,
Well, maybe it depends on what the FCC votes on.
Right. Yeah. That's a net neutrality for another talk another time. But God, you know, I really hate to say it, but yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think now more and more games they're trying to. I mean, Microsoft said it once too. Like, they don't want people to do couch co-op anymore.
Yeah.
That's why they're having these That's why Halo 5 was
Non-split screen, yeah.
You know, they wanted. Oh, like, no one really plays on their couch with their friends anymore. Like, the fuck? You don't, but I do. I always invite my friends over. Hey, let's play games, you know. So...
there was an
I saw that
executive.
first article by Forbes, by the way.
Yeah.
That really kind of irritated me.
Yeah, it triggered Zach right away. I heard him breathe as soon as he finished reading it. I can't remember which executive it was, but one of the executives came out of one of the AAA companies, and they literally said, they're like, we're not making a single player game because single player games are dying. That's where that topic came from. And I hope not, because we got games over here, like we got Shadow of War, we got Final Fantasy, we got Crash Bandicoot, the remake, which I feel like a piece of shit for buying because I already bought the games once.
It already came out, the remake?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Nice.
And it's after we're done, we should I'm gonna load this up when we're done, and
Yeah.
you're gonna see that you're a way shittier gamer than you used to be. That's all that game shows you.
Me and Sam play the Crash Bandicoot on our RetroPie, the first one, and that is like, I can't believe how hard that 3D platformer was. Like, I'm surprised
There's
play it.
a level on the first one. There's a level on the first one. It's the last level on the first island, where it's just like there's like 3 or 4 different segments where you just got to jump up in those jumping puzzles. I streamed that for 45 minutes 2 nights a week. And so essentially an hour and a half, and I couldn't beat that level.
I was watching Sam play on our. Oh, this is the old one on the.
The control's the exact same.
On our RetroPie. She couldn't get past the boulder level, but the boulder chasing you for 3 times.
Yeah.
She couldn't get past the second one, and it was like an hour goes by, and she had like 19 lives. She wasted them all, and she had to restart. I'm like, oh my god, that's heartbreaking.
It is. It sucks. But the thing that's cool about this game is they took the old controllers, the old controls. The controls never changed. This will control the same. Yeah. They just made it look better.
And that is all 3 of them?
That's all 3 of them.
So, like, even that Cortex one, whatever it was?
Yeah. Number 2, yeah. It has 1, 2, and 3. It just doesn't have Crash Team Racing. Which, rumors say that...
they're coming out with that again.
Yeah, rumors say that next year at E3 they're announcing Crash Team Racing. Maybe you'll hear Zach on the E3 podcast when it rolls around next year.
Yeah, I'll be sure for that. But what you said about single-player games, yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, because the one thing that I love is the Elder Scrolls. I've told you that. That's my favorite single-player. When they came out with the Elder Scrolls Online, I was like, no.
Fun fact about that game.
Don't change it till multiplayer online.
I hated that game when I first played it in first person. I downloaded it on the PC because I got it free from the Humble Bundle monthly thing. The second I stopped playing that game in first person and started playing that game as a third person game, I loved that game. I could not play that game as a first person game. It just did not work. It didn't work for me until I zoomed the fucking camera out and made it into a third person game, and I fucking loved it. I played it for like a week straight, which doesn't make any sense to me, because if you go back and you play Skyrim or Oblivion in third person, you're a piece of shit.
It's
why
complicated.
are you playing
like
that fucking game like that? Yeah.
You miss your sword. Like, well, god, I don't know who plays third person. If you do play third person, kudos to you in those games.
But for some reason, ESO, that's just how I have to play it as third person. I don't understand why.
I'm a diehard Angry Joe fan. I follow him a lot, despite a lot of people saying how he's becoming the next Spoony because he wasn't releasing a lot of game reviews and whatever. That's just the angry internet.
Yeah.
He murdered that game in a game review, and ever since then I watched that, and I didn't
You just see it all?
I didn't play it. I'm like, well, if it's that bad to where he's fucking pissed off, and he tells it like it is.
Yeah.
Like, I love Angry Joe. He's very blunt. He's straightforward. He doesn't sugarcoat things. So I was like, I'm not going to pick this game up then. And my neighbor Stell, this is before I had The Witcher 3, as I bought it, not knowing what it was, and I hated it at first. So I traded him The Witcher 3 for the Elder Scrolls Online, and I didn't even install it. So I had the Elder Scrolls Online for so long, and I ended up rebuying The Witcher 3 when it was on sale, and I fell in love with that game.
See, the thing that... Okay, here we go, internet. Fucking load up the pitchforks. I played The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was too complicated for me at first to understand. There's a website out there that I'm not gonna name, that makes trainers, like, for the games, like the old school trainers. For the longest time, like the first 30 hours of The Witcher 3 that I played, I had infinite health. Because I just couldn't, I just didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know how to make the Wraith Oil. I didn't know I didn't know how to do a bunch of the other shit. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just giving myself infinite health. And I'm just going to play the game for the fucking storyline. I don't give a shit about everything else. So for the first, 20 hours, that's how I played that game. Was just cheating in infinite health. Which I feel like a piece of shit for. But I enjoyed that. I enjoyed a game that I would have instantly walked away from now.
Yeah.
And I can't fault myself for that. Because now The Witcher 3 is an amazing fucking experience. And I play it normally now. It was just one of those things where it was coming from never playing The Witcher 1 or 2 and kind of not, being an ADD type of person and not really reading everything that I should have. Like, they tell you how to make Wraith Oil, but they're like, here's a note, here's a piece of paper that tells you how to do it. I'm like, I'm not reading that fucking note.
Well, they had, I told you that too. Is like, when I asked you, you asked me how you thought about what I thought about it. I said, like, you don't need to play the first two to play the third one.
And you don't.
You can hop in the third one and it's fucking boom. So
the only reason the first two came to mind like that is because I'm sure they would have covered how to make the oils and how important they were in the
Right,
First
but
two?
but that's why you got your bestiary
Yeah.
in the game. It tells you like, okay, you're fighting up against some weird flying creature or whatever. You know, he's weak to so oil, or if you use this sign.
Yeah.
You know, so it gave you.
It gives you all that. You
yeah,
just
every
gotta
time you go on
you
your-
just
your-
gotta
your
not be a
monster
piece of
hunt.
shit and go read something.
Yeah, it required a lot of in-depth thought, and that
Which-
was one of my favorite single-player
that's-
games.
That's one of the funnest parts of that game, though, is when you know you're going to be hunting something. Now I actually go and I
Yeah.
read that, you know, and you read up. It's like one of those things where you're like, okay, going on a fucking. It's like a project the night before. You're just like, okay, here's I'm gonna just cover some cliff notes. I need this, 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 and this, and you prepare for fights instead of just walking into shit and being like, I'm gonna fuck shit up.
Right.
You have to kind of, you know, be a little bit better than, you know, a normal game because of that.
And this perfect segment into the
Yeah.
next point is difficulty in games becoming a pain in the ass. I, for one,
You know where that
thought
came
The
from?
Witcher 3 was a lot, like, so hard when I first played it until I actually took the time. I went through the
Tutorial?
in-game tutorial, and I read like all the notes that pop up, because normally I'll keep
Yeah,
spamming A.
that's what I did.
Fuck these notes, you know, just get me in the game. And then I actually read it. I'm like, oh, that's something I never knew before.
Crash Bandicoot. That's where this topic came from.
Yeah, well, that's how games back in the day
When this first
used
came
to be
out,
so hard.
yeah, when this first came out, all I seen was I beat this game as a kid, you know, blah blah. I've already beaten this game, blah blah.
Right.
I beat these fucking games as a kid. I can't get past the first fucking island now. And as a kid, I didn't realize how hard these games were. Like I was just like, cool, I beat the game. Like you were prideful back then. I'm like, I beat that game. You know, I beat that game. Now that game's hard. I bitch about that game constantly to everybody. So when the fuck did difficulty get turned up to the point where I used to be prideful about it to now I'm just a whiny bitch about when games are hard?
I don't think it's been turned up. I think it's just, you know, we've had so long of games to where they've held
Too much
our
hand holding,
hands-
yeah.
held our hands to everything. Then when like games come along, like say for instance Dark Souls, I see you got it right there too. We've had so many games hold our hands to where a game like Dark Souls come along, and people are literally making videos on YouTube about them raging so much about the game and getting hundreds of thousands of views. It's just ridiculous.
Me and Orion tried playing Bloodborne together. Realized you have to do the tutorial first.
Yeah.
So we tried racing through the tutorial. Neither of us could beat the fucking tutorial for Bloodborne, so we both shut it off. Like, and that's still a game that's sitting out in the living room that I want to go back and I want to play more. I want to stop being a bitch about games. I want to get back into actually hardcore beating, like playing a game through and through and beating it. Because right now in my back catalog, I have close to 70 games that I physically own that I've never played.
Really?
And like I just went out and bought Shadow of War. Like what the fuck am I doing? I have tons of games that I can play through. You know, why don't I go through? That's what, you know, I made a new slot for the streaming time where after work, since I get off at 1, I'm going to go live from 2 to 5. You know, just short little 3-hour stream. But those are going to be exclusively single player streams where I can backtrack through my back catalog. And then when Orion gets on, we'll obviously be doing, multiplayer games. But the next question up here is, what makes Dark Souls different from mountain grinding in WoW? Like, why is grinding that boss and taking the time to learn that boss's patterns, tells, and how to beat it any different from me running the same fucking dungeon to get a specific mount in WoW? And I think the reason of that is difficulty. I have to keep dying on that motherfucker to learn his patterns, where in WoW, I'm so overpowered, I just walk through everything, walk out, reset, walk through everything, walk out, reset. It's less trying for me to do that for the mount, and than it is for me to go through and learn a pattern for Dark Souls.
Well, I think that more so forms off your how you perceive the game. You know, Dark Souls is hard, but when you compare it to mount grinding, you know, it all depends how much do you want it. I've never really played WoW, but you know, it's like, how much do you want that mount? Are you willing to put the time in the grinding that far? If not, because you don't need to get that mount. I mean, you can play WoW without it,
Yeah.
but in Dark Souls, you can't complete the game without getting past this boss.
Yeah.
You can't get to the next portion of the game, so you're kind of forced to. So I think that's what makes people a little more angry about it, is because, well, if you use that example as WoW, you don't have to get that mount you can just avoid all that hard grinding and then just play the game.
That makes
But
sense.
in Dark Souls, you have to. You're forced to. Okay, I have to keep getting beaten over and over and over until I actually eventually win, and keep using Esther Flask after Esther Flask, you know, to get all your life back. And so I mean, there's certain standards, but that I don't think games have turned to a more easier path.
Yeah.
And obviously, this will loop right back to where we started. The whole, you know, it's
Pay
so
to
much
win, so it's
more
less hard.
easier to pay to advance, pay to win, than it is to actually grind the game. And game companies are seeing that now, and they're like, well, people are more willing to just pay $4 or $5
So Zach,
to
what
advance than to actually
what you're
spend the
telling me is
5
that
hours.
I'm the problem.
No, there's a majority, and I'm being really blunt right here. If this pertains to you or not, it's just there's a majority of gamers out there that are the problem. They just don't care. They're like, well, this doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me to spend $10 on a game.
Oh no, it affects
But
me a lot.
it's just, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know. But it like that's why I encourage people, like, don't buy microtransactions. Like in Call of Duty, don't spend money for COD points to
No.
get supply drops. Don't, like, you're just making the system worse.
Yeah.
You're
I
showing what's
agree.
wrong with the problem.
I agree with that. Yo, on a side note, what up, Turtle? How you doing today? How's work? How's the weather where you're at, dude? Because it's not great here. But I get what you're saying. If back to the first thing, if there's gonna be microtransactions, they need to be cosmetic. You cannot give someone an advantage because that person is better off in life than
There
another
needs
person.
to be cosmetic. There needs to be a content to justify the purchase. Like Bethesda, if you follow them, they got their whole creation club for Fallout 4 and Skyrim, which is paid mods now.
Which is horrible.
It's horrible. You spend $4 for a gun for Fallout 4 or mud crab armor
Yeah.
for Skyrim. Like,
Which is a joke
not-
on the first DLC that
it is, yeah, the horse
You know,
crab
the
armor.
the horse armor.
The horse armor, yeah.
yeah,
horse
which a
armor,
lot of
horse
people had a
armor.
big fucking problem with,
That
and now
was
they're like,
stupid.
hey,
It was
mud
like-
crab
It was
armor.
like $4 to get horse armor. For,
No, it
you
was
get 3 different
$4.99, yeah.
variants, glass, elven, and something.
And that was
else.
back when they had points instead of money, and you
Yeah.
couldn't buy points that small. You had to buy points.
Yeah,
You had to buy like double or triple the amount of points just to
Yep.
get that. Like it sucked
it
back
cost
then.
600 points. You had to buy like 1,200 points or
Listen to us
1,800.
griping like old fucking
Yeah,
men
yeah.
right now. Back in my day.
It's but stuff like that is just like, I have no and I'm not condoning, or I'm not trying to like say that this stuff is okay if you have content, but I feel a lot better when I'm buying something if it's content worth it. Like game DLCs, I'll spend $10 on a game DLC if it adds like 20 or 40 more gameplay hours.
Yeah. Well,
I'll add stuff like that.
Like
You
I
know,
said,
I'm not gonna spend $4 to get a gun for Fallout 4
No.
off the Creation Club.
but like single player DLCs, single player DLCs, I do think you should have to pay for.
Right, and there's
But
a lot of stuff to that. you
Don't
can-
make me pay for multiplayer stuff, because even if I'm paying for a map or I'm paying for an expansion pass, what you're doing is you're fracturing your player base. You're splitting your player base up into people who can pay. Like, let's say, just go into the most extreme thing. Let's say you have a kid, and the kid has a dad who's never there and a fucking mom who's an alcoholic. That kid, who his only escape right now is this game, can't pay to keep up with his friends who can buy the DLC. So his friends are always back on the same fucking maps over and over and over again, because
Yeah. It's exactly what you're saying.
you shouldn't,
just
you
split your
can't,
player
yeah,
base.
you
got,
can't
like,
split your player base.
Especially when you make it so expensive. Like, most of these in-game season passes are like $40, $50.
Yeah, they're just as much as the game.
That's exactly. It's a whole new price of the game, and some people don't pay that. So then you're like cutting down the population numbers on these new maps because only so many people bought the season pass to get the new maps. And
Well, not only that, but let's say with Call of Duty, you have the original game, and then you have 4 DLCs. Where's this at? 4 DLCs. So let's say nobody buys the DLCs. Now this one person can only be stuck on the original maps. Or this person buys DLC 2. So he doesn't have 1, 3, or 4, but he's stuck on the original and 2. Or you have another player who bought DLC 4, jumped in the very last minute. There's all kinds of different variables and ways to cut this.
Bungie
the point
did
where-
it. They kind of, I mean, in Halo 2 and Halo 3, I remember you weren't allowed to play online
Unless you had
certain playlists, unless
Yep.
you had all the map packs.
Yeah, I remember that.
You had to buy all of them. So it's like, if you want to play ranked Team Slayer,
You
well,
have
hang
to.
on, you got to get the map packs first.
Or if it sucked even worse because you get a fucking party together and you're like, all right, dude, let's go 4-stack and we'll just stop. Who the fuck doesn't have the DLC?
yeah,
Like,
who doesn't have the map packs?
Yeah,
What the hell?
And back then you used to bitch at people for
Yeah.
not spending money, and now we're in the fucking opposite. We're like, why the fuck would you spend money on that? Like, everything should be free. Like, it's so weird how the gaming environment in our lifetime alone, Zach. Like, in our lifetime, we've gone from the NES, which was right before, I think it was 89 when the NES came out. So it was right before, a year before I was born. When did the NES come out? I swear to God, it was 89.
It was 85 or 87.
It was, yeah.
Because it brought the gaming industry out of the first crash.
That's right, because what happened was I was at my sister's and there was a game published in 90 or 87. It was 3 years before I was even born. And yeah, the Nintendo is solely responsible for gaming as it is now.
Yeah.
Like that's it. But then Nintendo also fucked up the goddamn game by just being trapped. 1983.
Yep, but there was like, I was actually reading about that last night, about the whole gaming crash of 83 to 85, you know, how like fucking stocks went up so much that just
Yo,
plummeted
Turtle.
way down.
Completely agree. Wait, hold on, I can't read that. I gotta get to the other one. Completely agree. True talk. This is. Thank you for the 100 bits, Turtle. You've almost healed yourself back to full health, even though nobody's ever gonna take you over, buddy. I don't think you ever have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, yes, Nintendo fixed gaming as it is now, but Nintendo also fell behind hardcore, even more so now in the Let's Play day and age. Holy shit. Nathan with the sub. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate that.
Show me what you got.
Enjoy the what game we're talking about? We're kind of
Or chit chatting.
we've been bouncing back and forth. Nathan, enjoy your one emote that you get. I forgot. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I forgot how to trigger the emote. I forgot which one it was. Anyway, click on your emotes things. It's just Angry Idiots, but the D in idiots is capitalized because Twitch will not let me change how that is set up. When you're an affiliate, Twitch is like, hey, you have to have this tied to a certain thing. It has to be a certain amount of letters.
I've seen. I know how it works.
So So it just like the way it got cut off was the only thing I could choose was the DIOTS, and it says you have to have another capital, so I had to make my D the capital in that. But that sucked. But anyway, the thing, again, looping back to when we were.
This whole talk's been mainly about like EA, not even EA, but it's been more about like microtransactions.
I was gonna say
that was the major point.
I was gonna say like
different games.
I was gonna say loop back to like when we were kids. If somebody would have came up to you and been like, "Hey, give us $5 and you can just beat the game," over the internet while you're playing with your friends, hundreds of miles. Your fucking brain would have exploded if somebody explained the current state of gaming to you while you were fucking 4 and 5.
I remember being a real scumbag in games. Every time I got a game, I'd go on GameWinners.com and look up all the cheats. Like enter cheat codes.
Yeah, Cheat CC was. Yeah, I went to Cheat CC a lot.
That was that stuff was cool,
but like, I don't know. It's so weird because the shitty part about this conversation is this conversation's gonna be so dated. We come back in 2 years. And this conversation's gonna
not even 2 years. We'll come back in like 2 weeks, and there'll be like a shitload of topips. Like EA did this.
Well, if we can come back in 2 weeks because of net neutrality, but
good.
But it's one of those things where it's you hate to talk about it because it's gonna be dated, but there are so many fucking things wrong right now that, and everyone will agree, like. Whether you like microtransactions, you don't. You like how hard games are, you don't. You think Destiny 2 is a fucking piece of shit. If you like, if you think people are dumb for buying, Crash Bandicoot, fucking 20 years later. It changes fast. It does change fast, Turtle. It changes really, really fast. But like that's another thing, Zach, is Skyrim. Skyrim's the easy target right here. So you got Skyrim that came out originally, and then you have the special edition. My microwave can play Skyrim. I have a pet Rocco back that plays Skyrim. I have it probably on my phone if I fucking tried hard enough. Like, it's Skyrim's literally everywhere. Cheats were the thing back then. Games have just moved away from it. Built-in cheat. Shovel Knight was the most recent example I can think of. I remember going into what the fuck. I can't remember what game it was that I sat down and I went to go look up actual like up, down, left, right cheats. And this game, it was on the 360. And this game didn't have cheats, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I was so pissed off because I couldn't cheat in a video game.
There is so many cheats for every N64 game.
And now you look back and you're just
cheats. Like, they had their own cheat code section.
Yeah.
You go to options, go over. Most games.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater was a good one.
Cheat code section.
Yeah,
right there,
had its own little fucking thing.
That was cool because I mean, like a lot of those cheat codes for some games, you had to actually unlock them. You had to like find. I remember like in some games, you find like a little tiny thing in the game, and you unlocked the cheat code.
Ratchet and Clank is a good example of that.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank is you find certain things around the map, and remember the Konami code? Isn't it up, down, left, right?
Oh my god.
B A start select or something like that. It's like up, down, left, right. I can't remember it. I honestly
sounds
can't.
like some sort of like Mike Tyson punch out. Right?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Left, right, dodge, uppercut.
You know what always pissed me off about GTA though was the cheat codes in GTA. You fucking easy button pushes, and then you had to like spin the joystick like a quarter of it or half of it in order to unlock a cheat code. And you always fucked it up. And you used to just fucking drop jets in the middle of nowhere and be like, "Oh, that's never moving."
Yeah.
Like, I think that's right. I can't remember exactly what the Konami code is, but it's close. But it's just, I don't know, Zach. I don't know. Do you think, like, okay, back to the Skyrim thing. Do you think it's dumb I already purchased this game in my lifetime. So just because they turned up the graphics and
Crash Bandicoot isn't doing what Bethesda did. They did Skyrim in 2011, and like obviously they do the Game of the Year edition.
Yep.
And then it includes all the DLCs. And then they did the Legendary edition with the new Skyrim Legendary update.
Wait, hold on.
Now they got the Special edition, and now they got the Switch edition,
which is just the 2011
and now
edition.
The PS4 Pro VR one, which they just released Skyrim Special Edition on PS4 like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was $60.
Yep.
It
but
was
that came with
free.
the mods though, yeah.
It came with, no, because Sony put a block on that.
Oh yeah.
Sony was
you could only use in-game assets.
In-game assets.
But I got that for free, so I don't give a shit because on PC,
exactly.
if you own,
I was just gonna say that if you bought Skyrim Legendary Edition through Steam, you got the Special Edition update for free.
you didn't even need to buy the Legendary Edition. If you had Skyrim and all the DLC, you automatically got it.
So yeah, I mean, I bought Skyrim Legendary Edition. That's where I built my gaming computer.
Yeah.
Like that. But so that really fucked over console players. They're like, oh my god, I'm so happy to play mods on Xbox.
As PC players.
$60 later,
Yeah.
and now it's like Nintendo Switch that you already have to pay $299.99 for, $300 for.
Worth it.
Is it? I mean,
it is.
If you say it, they'll take your word, but then you pay another $60 on top of it. On top of the whole Creation Club paid mods, it's just...
The Switch is worth it if you're willing to automatically throw like $500 at it. Like, so go.
Yeah.
Is that...
We're taking a quick break here.
Yeah, I was gonna say just go. I can handle it. Yeah, I can handle it for a second. But the Switch is worth it if, and I know Nathan, I know you're gonna have a problem with it. Because Nathan sleeps with his Switch, I'm assuming. But if you're willing to go and buy the Switch for $399 and instantly drop like $500-$600, the Switch is the best console. Yeah, see, Nathan's our resident Nintendo expert. But you need, in my eyes, you need to buy the Switch. You need to buy an SD card because the storage on the damn thing is not great at all. You need to buy maybe a Pro controller, which is not necessary, but you need to buy the SD card, you need to buy the console. You need to buy games, obviously. But even if you were just to go and buy what's in the case, you need the Switch for $399, the SD card for $40. I'm assuming Zelda is going to be a lot of people's go-to, so that's another $60. Super Mario Odyssey is another $60, and then yeah, like Nathan said, if you want the Pro controller, that's $70, which is Nathan's totally right. Yeah, way too much. Switch is $299. What did I say? $399? $399 is the fucking Splatoon edition. But yeah, if you want to Switch is worth it. They are worth it. They're fun. I know Jordan's been loving hers, but you need to. It's a pretty deep barrier to entry right now. Considering you have to buy everything as you go, or add like everything right off the bat. It's not like a PS4 where you can buy it and watch Netflix on it for a little bit and shit like that. You need to buy it, and then you need to be ready to invest, the $500-$600 that you want to buy the new Zelda and the new Mario, the SD card, because like I said, the storage on it's not great. But you need to be able to do all that to enjoy your console. So come a year down the road when the Switch is like, oh, hey, we made a new Switch, get your original big-ass paddle-shifting Switch, or enjoy the new Switch Mini, and here's a bunch of different games for it. Like, I know at the end of the year, or the beginning of next year is what it is, when you sign up for your Switch, like when you make your account, Switch is like, hey, we're introducing our own paid subscription service for online gaming, but tied in with that is like how PlayStation and Xbox do their here's your free game type thing. They're releasing all of the Classic Edition. Like, I don't know if they're going to give away a Classic Edition title or if you're just going to get access to the library of Classic Editions, and then you'll be able to go back. But I know...
No, how they work... what happens with all the Wii U games?
That's where I was...
Work on Switch?
That's what they don't work on Switch, but Nintendo announced that they're stopping production on the 3DS.
Yeah, you
but
told me that
they
over.
haven't announced anything new to take that place yet. So I'm kind of guessing that right now, based off of the fact that there's no other anything 3DS related coming out, they're going to try to throw all of their fucking eggs into one basket, that basket being the Switch. And if you're going to tell me that in a year I'll be able to pick that fucking thing up and play everything from the NES all the way up to the Wii U and Game Boy / 3DS games on that thing, I'll instantly drop $300 on that fucking thing. Are you kidding me? Letting me play old school Nintendo stuff?
There's a...
I got a shovel, so I got my headphones on, though. Keep it up. I don't know. If they're gonna put everything on that game, or on that console, I'm 100% okay with it. And they have the new unannounced Pokemon game coming for the Switch.
Well, that's not that. I mean, that's... Pokemon, what's happened to that? Anyways, I'm all happy for the Switch because Nintendo needs something. Like the Wii U was terrible. It did not sell at all.
The Wii U was marketed way wrong, but yeah.
And me and Sam, we had a Wii. I loved my Wii.
Yeah.
Like I wish I knew where all the connections went to it because obviously when we bought our Xbox One, it kind of just
you were like, hey, get the fuck out of here, huh?
Yeah, throw that in the trash can right now. But no, I loved having a Wii, and I loved like Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo. I remember the day me and my sister got a Nintendo 64 for Christmas, and it was like,
oh, that video of that kid opening and screaming was you.
Yeah, that was me. True story. I'm famous.
Real talk.
It was almost like that. Like, oh my god, like.
I can't really talk because I remember
we had the first game we had for it was Pokemon Stadium, and I was like, this is like I love Pokemon games. And at that point in time, I already had a Game Boy Color, so I'm like, awesome. I like Pokemon.
That's actually one of the things I went to go do before you came over. Was I went out to Cenex to buy my Monster sponsor. Send me free Monster, but I also went to Walmart to go buy the new Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I was like, fuck it. Like I have it all, whatever. But the thing about it was I was standing in Walmart and they didn't have it. Luckily, they didn't have it.
Turtle is right. Pokemon has gone to shiz.
I saw it. Was not impressed.
Thank you, my bro. Like that is true.
Like when the universe just aligns just right, so something doesn't happen. You're like, well, fuck. But it probably wasn't meant to happen. I still haven't beaten Moon. Like, I bought Sun for Jordan, I bought Moon for myself. I'm on the second island, and I stopped playing it.
Does Jordan play a lot of games with you?
Not really. Like I bought Sun for her because she was like, oh, I'll try it out, blah blah. So I bought Sun for her. She hasn't touched it.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. I haven't even beaten Moon, but I was gonna go out and buy the new one. I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't buy this.
They had,
So it worked out kind of perfectly,
Right.
but they have the new unannounced Pokemon game coming out for Switch, and you can bet ass cheeks that as soon as that comes out, I will be buying it. Good or bad.
Even Nathan, Sun and Moon are garbage.
Sun and Moon
Yes,
are garbage. Yes, they are. Yes. Without 100. Back to the hand holding things. Gamings are getting too hand holdy. Sun and Moon are the perfect example of a hand holdy game.
I haven't played it, and but from what I read, they had like interdimensional Pokemon that you don't catch with Pokeballs. It's
The
like
Ultra Beasts?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Ultra Beasts.
It's-
It's like
The reason I wanted Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was because they released a couple more Ultra Beasts, which fine, whatever. They're a class all their own. Which I know Nathan's gonna be all pissy about it, but they're a class all their own. But in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, they brought back Team Rocket, but they called them Rainbow Rocket.
Yeah,
Hold on. But it's the Giovanni came back, but he recruited the leaders from all the other teams. And a bunch of portals open up, and you can get every legendary Pokemon in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like during the end game. So you beat the game, and then you get access to apparently the end game on this fucking thing is just extraordinary. That's the reason I wanted it.
Well, I guess we'll see. I don't know, because I had X and Y. I wasn't impressed from them.
Yeah, X is when it definitely went downhill. I beat X, and I walked away from X thinking, what the fuck was that? I don't understand it.
I wasn't a fan of the whole Mega Evolution thing, and then they kept doing.
Well, did you hear
I
the-
also bought Alpha Sapphire. That was fun to play Sapphire again.
Did you hear the theory behind Mega Evolution?
No, I don't follow.
We're in a different dimension. We're in a
Really?
totally different. Yeah, we're in a different universe or whatever it is, a different realm, whatever the fuck you want to call it. We're in the original Red and Blue all the way up to, I believe X and Y. That takes place in one universe, and then, X and Y. It'd be Black and White then, I guess. In X and Y, those take place in a separate universe where Mega Evolution was invented, and one universe Mega Evolution wasn't invented. Because in X and Y, that's when they start talking about different rifts and different realms and shit like that. And that's the theory behind that is why Mega Evolution suddenly came up is because we jumped dimensions, which is fucking weird, especially in a kids game like that.
Yeah, like they went. That's the one thing Nintendo is doing kind of wrong. They took the whole, standard Pokemon thing and then made it to.
I'm in
wild.
the same boat. I haven't liked the recent Pokemon games besides Omega Ruby. Right now, the only RPG I'm playing is Xenoblade 2. But way too many tutorials. It's good, but way too many tutorials. I heard Xenoblade 2 wasn't getting very good reviews. I was going to pick it up for the Switch, but I heard it wasn't getting great reviews. So I'm just going to save my money for Monster Hunter World. But I'm going to buy that on the PS4 because I have a couple other people that are going to buy it on the PS4. So I'm gonna stick my money into that instead of Xenoblade. But back to a different kind of microtransaction, kind of. How do you feel about remakes and remasters?
I hate them. This past 2 years, not just for games, for movies, it's been the year of remakes.
So if they came out,
why? Are we that unoriginal? We can't come up with our own new idea. We have to remake an idea.
so if they came out and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna release Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow for your phone, $5," would you buy it?
No, it's already have Red, Blue, and Yellow.
But are you really gonna bust out your Game Boy to play them though?
I don't need my Game Boy. That's why I got.
The RetroPie, you got it.
Shit.
Okay.
Shameless plug. RetroPie, yes. If you have the money, you spend $70, you get a Pi 3, and then you can build all into that.
We'll come back to that because we'll be talking about that afterwards. Shadow Colossus though, man. So the remake of Shadow Colossus, they just scaled it up and they're re-releasing it pretty much.
That goes the same thing with them. What game they just remake?
Crash Bandicoot.
That. Well, yeah.
So if they came out,
that was a game like that is.
So if it's jumping generations like that, and it's like it used to look like shit, but now we're gonna make it look really really good.
No,
that's okay.
The subject of remakes is very touchy because there's people that do it right, and then people that abuse the fuck out of it.
Okay, now wait. Okay, before we get too long, we planned for this to be like an hour. We're now running close to 2 hours on this. Should we save the topics of remasters and remakes for next time, and then we can get their input on it too? Like we can have we can have Nathan and Turtle send us some topics to talk about too.
Yeah, no, that'll be fine.
That'll be all right.
I just think that for closing on that is like people use it and abuse it. They look at back. Okay, this game made so much money back in the early '90s. How can we remake this with better graphics and all this stuff?
Yeah, like
Skyrim came out in 2011. Now they're like, let's remake it for the
you know what I'm
PS4
the most
VR.
pissed off about though is the fact Skyrim got so much love. Skyrim's endgame sucks shit. I'll say it. The final mission of that game sucks ass. You spend the whole time building to fucking fighting that dragon, and the dragon just kind of dies, and it's like, cool, we're done. There's nothing after that.
Yeah. I'll just say though that you're not a real Elder Scrolls player until you played Morrowind, because that was the best Elder Scrolls game. And then they came out with Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and that was super easy, but a lot of fun. And then they had Skyrim, which was kind of like a in-between, like hard, not like hard like Morrowind was, but not too easy like Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was, so... But
Yeah.
Morrowind was like that was when the the Western RPGs were at its finest, I believe. Morrowind right there, yeah, Steam edition.
All right, well, I guess Zach just ripped me the fuck apart, but because I've never played Morrowind.
Oh,
I own the original.
I
like,
bought that back when it came out for Xbox.
if we were to dig into the closet, I own the
PC.
original physical Game of the Year on the original Xbox
Oh,
version,
no.
and I own it on Steam. I've never played it. My first,
Dude, you should hold on to that copy's worth some money. That Xbox One.
I think it still has the map and everything with it too.
If it does,
I
then
think it
people
does.
are selling that for like $70.
My first Elder Scrolls was Oblivion, and I loved it. And I was just about to say that why the fuck hasn't Oblivion been remastered? Because I would buy it instantly. And then I like Skyrim, but I didn't like the story of Skyrim. And then Zach just kind of ripped it the fuck apart.
I'm an Elder Scrolls. I mean, I'm a diehard Elder Scrolls fan. Like, I love that game.
My first Elder Scrolls was Oblivion. I didn't know it even existed until the 360 when I borrowed a 360 from my friend. And I played
remember watching. You remember that channel G4?
Yeah, G4. Yeah.
G4. Yeah, I remember watching. They had X Play.
X Play.
Yeah,
With
X-Play on there,
Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb.
Yep. And they were talking about this game called Morrowind. And I'm like, well, this game was fucking awesome. So I went out and bought it for my original Xbox. I was a little kid. My dad bought it at the time, but you know,
some little kid at Walmart. Give me the new Elder Scrolls.
It was awesome. Like that came out in 2002, and then Oblivion came out in 2004, and then Skyrim comes out 7 years later, 2011. Where's the next Elder Scrolls game? Stop releasing Skyrim. Come on with the next one already. All right.
I will make a promise to install and play Morrowind.
It's worth it.
I will do it.
It's very jarring because it has no map markers.
Yeah, I heard that there's no map markers, no fast travel.
No fast travel. You have to go to people to
do
travel.
yeah.
It's like in Skyrim, you can talk to the
cart guys.
Yeah, the cart guys.
Yeah, and I heard
kinda
that there's no like fucking quest markers or anything either.
Nope.
It's just like you open up your journal and you have to read on where to go.
On your journal, yep, and like. You have to. It's non-voiced. Well, there's small voice bits, but you have to read every bit of text the NPCs give you.
Wow, I can't wait to get
hardcore.
extremely frustrated with that.
It's really good, but the one thing I really hated about it was when you swing your weapon, it has like a chance to miss. So you can be like point blank swinging and you like miss.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well,
but I get it. Yeah, I get it.
That's how it used to be. Kind of like D&D, you gotta roll the dice. I need that 20 to hit the attack. Fuck, I got like 15.
I got a 4 and got.
God damn it, I got killed.
Yeah. I will install and play Morrowind.
I recommend it. I recommend because a lot of these kids that talk about the Elder Scrolls, they have no fucking clue. They're like,
they're all coming from Skyrim pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I played Skyrim. Is that the same
The
thing?
thing
You
that-
have no understanding.
The
of
thing
games.
that pissed me off about Skyrim so much is since it's an Elder Scrolls game, I did a lot of the side quests to begin with.
Which is fine.
So I went in and I was like, oh, storyline. Oh, side quest. And I was like, fuck it. I was like level 50 or 60 by the time I started the fucking main storyline. So I started the main storyline and I blazed through it, and then I literally didn't know I finished the game. That's how anticlimactic the fucking ending was.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Like, that's what pissed me off. Same thing with
at least they hired more voice actors this
Yeah.
time. I hated in Oblivion how everyone
sounded the same. Well, same thing with New Vegas. Like, New Vegas is a great game until the end. Because no matter which one of the 4 endings you choose, it's pretty much the fucking same ending.
I've never finished that. And
Like, it's...
people say, well, that shouldn't have been its own standalone game. That is like Fallout New Vegas was way better than Fallout 3.
New Vegas,
And
yeah.
I totally agree. I've played half of it. It's amazing.
New
so far.
Vegas was an amazing game, except literally the end. Like, the whole game leading up to that is fucking amazing. Like, the environment's really good. What they do with a couple super mutants, like, there's an entire, like, village of smart sentient super mutants, like,
Yeah.
that you can go to. Like, it's, like, they do a really, really good job with that entire game, except for the fucking end. And it sucked.
How did you
But-
feel about? I know we got to wrap this up here in a soon, but how did you feel about the voice protagonist in Fallout 4?
It didn't bother me at all. I know a lot of people were really pissed off about it. It didn't.
I didn't really.
It didn't bother me at all.
I'm kind of in your boat. I didn't have a solid opinion either way. I understand because there are a lot of people
Immersion's
that
sake?
immersion. You
Yeah.
know, like, well, that's not what I sound
Same
like.
thing with Destiny 2. A lot of people ripped on Destiny 2 because in Destiny 1, you had a voice. You barely used it, but in Destiny 2, your guy looks like he goes to talk, but then the ghost answers the question. And everyone's like, why the fuck can't my Guardian talk? He could talk in the first game, why not now?
Yeah.
But then they came on, and they're like, well, it's immersion. Like, a lot of people, if you're playing first person in this game, you don't want that person to have a voice because you imagine you as that person.
That's the whole point.
But-
and the one thing I like about the Elder Scrolls and even Fallout is you can play like that.
Yeah.
The character is you. You do your choices.
I can honestly say that being like streaming and stuff, and this goes back beyond streaming too, but when you stream, you have to pay attention to so many different things at once that my immersion, was Fallout 4 good? Fallout 4 is good. I recommend playing it. At least play it and get through it. It's good. It's not like
It is
the best
good,
thing.
but
It's
I
not.
didn't like the whole settlement thing. That was
The settlement thing
weird.
sucks.
Like, you can just all of a sudden build your own
Which
settlement.
I like the
in game.
I like the settlement thing. I like the fact that, like, hey, build up your own little house or build up your own little town, populate it with people. Great. But we're gonna give you the worst building fucking tools in the building. Like, if you're gonna set up your own settlement, setting up that settlement will be the hardest thing you
It
ever
has,
fucking
like, no
do.
floor snaps. So you have to have like a glass to your fucking screen and like realign where the blocks are going.
Yeah, you need about 16 different people. That Fallout 4 needs to be a multiplayer game specifically for settlement building, so you can just line people up and be like, "Am I lined up here?" That's all. Yeah,
It was,
but
like I had like walls that were like slanting one way. I'm like, this looks terrible.
Yeah.
Trying to match your roof up to it. There's like a big hole right there.
it's and then you get other people who are like, "I built a house in the sky above Sanctuary," and you're like, "Why the fuck would you ever do that?" Because I can't even build a 4-walled house
It's tough.
to put a bed in, and this motherfucker built the fucking multi-leveled sky fortresses.
Let it be known that Fallout 4 right now is only $29.99.
Yes.
And the Elder Scrolls Skyrim, even just the special edition one, is still $39.99.
Yes, I highly recommend buying Fallout and the season pass and just running through the game.
I never played any of the DLC, but I heard that Far Harbor one was really great.
Far Harbor is a great expansion. I know the Automaton one. In that one, you literally build your own robots. Like, if you don't like people, you can build an entire settlement of robots that you find and scrap out the other robots that you're fighting, and then build your own robots. And then
Well, then they had that one too.
Nuka-Cola World,
Yeah, Nuka-Cola
where you
World,
literally
make
go
your own
to
amusement park.
you go to your own amusement park, and then there was one bullshit DLC because of course it's Bethesda. Like, the one Skyrim bullshit DLC was Hearthstone or Hearthfire, where it's like, hey, there's nothing here, but go build a house. Like, the one bullshit one for that or for Fallout 4 is literally like, hey, we just gave you a bunch of more stuff to build with. Jesus Christ, Turtle. That's 1,100 bits, dude. Thank you very much. I want to hear more of this real talk every Monday, tentatively.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Every
figure.
other-
We're gonna figure some different stuff out, but it should be about every Monday, because we both
I mean, like, well, obviously, this was
This was very
our
last
our
minute thrown
first
together,
whack
yeah.
at it, but we'll have more like
It'll-
more games in depth.
Yeah, it'll look better. We might actually be playing games on the stream at some point. But it'll look better. We'll have better talking points. Our transitions will be smoother. Things like that. It'll get better. But yeah, this is just a little baby right now.
I thought it'd be a little like it'd feel more real for us just doing it live like
Yeah.
this. You know,
We
kinda
were-
just,
yeah.
just kind of just winging it, throwing it out there.
We were gonna just record it and then upload it later, just audio. But Zach's completely 100% right. It felt a lot better to just stream it out.
Before we leave, we're talking about Elder Scrolls and Fallout 4. If the next Elder Scrolls game does that settlement building stuff, I will personally burn down Bethesda Game Studios.
Well, okay.
That thing was a hot dumpster fire. Don't ruin my Elder Scrolls game series by adding that in there. I will murder Todd Howard.
Wow, Todd Howard's coming after you.
Shots fired, Todd. I'll fucking...
But no, the last thing about the Fallout 4 DLCs is the last one just literally gives you more stuff to build. It's just like, hey, here's a couple cages. You can... Hell, actually, what it does is it adds Pokemon to Fallout. You can trap and kind of tame creatures, and you can build an arena for, like, your... You can set up traps to capture raiders. Dumpster fire. You can set up arenas to capture raiders and make raiders fight each other. You can pit like 5 raiders versus a Deathclaw. Like, it's all fun stuff, but it's all stuff that's tied into that building mechanic that is just not a great thing in Fallout. But I mean, Nathan, look around. Christmas sales coming up on PlayStation. I know you have a PlayStation. Definitely be on the watch for some Fallout being on sale.
Shit.
If Fallout's on sale during the Christmas sale, Nathan, I definitely recommend picking it up. Even just the base game to start off with. You'll easily get 60 plus hours out of that game. And it's fun. Just don't do
it's
settlement
not,
building.
The story is, the story was weird. It's like, I'm supposed to find my kid, but then it like kind of sidetracks you into smaller stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. Your son's important, but help us build a settlement first.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you came to us and saved us, and you want us to help you find your son. Cool. Build us a town.
Yeah, build us a town. Do that first, then find your son.
Yeah. And then you get a drug addict, and she's like, I can see into the future and find your son. Give me meth. And you're like,
that was a little strange.
and you're like, all right, Mama Murphy, here's some jet. And she's like, cool.
Mama
Your
Murphy.
son's far away. Oh, that's all I got right now.
Yeah.
Give me more meth. And you're like, all right, well, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll try to do this again next Monday. I mean, like Zach said, it's his day off. I get off at 1:00 on Mondays. I'm gonna play as a classy lady. I mean,
You would.
You're gonna, yeah, you fuck it, you would, you sadistic bitch. No, but you can't. Play Morrowind, Rob. Just do it. Yeah, okay. I'll play Morrowind. Like I said,
Morrowind is great.
there's a new stream time.
Super fun, and you don't even if you play on the PC, they got all sorts of mods that.
Yeah, but the mods are fucking hard to install for Morrowind. Like I've looked into that.
They have installers for it.
They do not. I have looked. I have the Nexus Mod Manager on my computer, and Morrowind's not supported.
Because you don't have it installed, probably.
What the fuck? I have.
You can't.
But I mean, when I had it installed, I redid my hard drives. Like when I had it installed, like there's Mod Manager. You have to do everything manually for Morrowind, whereas like with Skyrim and everything else, you can just click the button and it jumps in. Yeah, and then like the graphics and shit, you gotta get like 3 different programs for the graphic mods. I'll show you afterwards. Like
I know what you're talking about.
I tried to do it because I was like, well, if I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna up the graphics so it doesn't look like complete garbage. But I looked into it and it was rough to do.
You have to play just one playthrough old graphics. It'll be tough.
I'd
it's
love
like,
to.
Oh my god, it's so blocky.
I
but
will. I'll do it. But
it brings the nostalgia right back. It's
I'll
this
do
is
it.
Like what 2002 looked like.
yeah, this is what horrible stuff looked like.
That game was beautiful for its time.
Yo,
It was,
yeah.
like, one of the first.
I honestly still can't believe that they pushed the original Xbox that far to put Morrowind on it. Like a game that really didn't have loading screens or anything, and it was just kind of like, here's a big ass open world, and it ran on a console. Like you can't like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds comes out in like a week or 2 for the Xbox. I'm betting people's Xboxes start on fucking fire because of that game. That game is such an
Is that worth
unoptimized
it?
pile of shit.
Someone told me to play Fortnite, and I know like going back, I was watching people play H1Z1. And they're all kind of the same.
They are all the same, yeah.
You know, but
In
which one's better? Is
ranking,
this PUBG the one that's coming out to be the better one? Or?
If we were to rank them right now, I will talk the most shit about PUBG all day. I'd still play PUBG over Fortnite.
Really?
Fortnite's fun, and it's if you want. PUBG is hardcore. You drop in, it's a big ass fucking map. You can easily drop in, get fucked by the circle, and die before you ever see anybody. But you can also drop in, get some good guns, get into a cool ass firefight, grab a vehicle, drive away, jump, run into people. Like, you can do a lot of cool shit with PUBG, but it's unoptimized and it runs really, really rough. Fortnite is made by the people who made the engine that it runs on, the Unreal Engine 4. And Fortnite is totally Battle Royale light. It's like, you know, you don't need the weapon attachments that PUBG has. It's you drop in, it's like, cool, you got a shotgun. That's a pump action shotgun. That's it. That's all you get. Pump action shotgun. The only difference is there's rarities for damage. And then you can build in PUBG. You can build in Fortnite, and you can't build in PUBG. Like, if you want an introduction, Fortnite's the way to go. If you want to just jump in hardcore and slam your balls against a desk, PUBG. Because PUBG is fun. It's good. It's a lot of fun. But
yeah,
it's just
I've been watching everyone post videos about it. You know, like
it's only $30. I mean, it's worth $30.
It's one of those games because I tried playing H1Z1 on my computer, and it's like you can't trust anyone in that game. Like, hey, wait,
no,
come with us, and then they'll just shoot you in the back. Like,
H1Z1's really bad about that, where it was just like a trust thing.
Yeah.
Fortnite and PUBG, you'll never have that problem.
Is Fortnite the one where the map gets smaller over time?
They all do.
They try to negate camp. Oh, they all do?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it's a way to force fights.
To force fights, to stop camping. Because that's what I see, like, for a lot of these games, is people just kind of camping in the area, wait for someone to drive by.
That's what it'll do, is a lot of people do that. Like in PUBG, one of the bad things is bridge games. Like, if it closes over military base, there's 2 bridges to go to military base, you could almost fucking bet there's going to be people camping that bridge. Which sucks, but, you know, just take it slow. Either swim across underneath the bridge or go fucking full blast, or just take it slow and gun them down. Like, it's worth $30, Zach, is what I'm saying. It's worth $30 when it comes out. If you have the $30, buy it, play a couple matches. If not, Fortnite's completely free.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, it's someone said it was free. My buddy Jack said someone is for installment buy it. But I got so much on my plate right now. Like, I started my, like, 30th playthrough again of Skyrim.
Yeah.
I've been doing that. I downloaded, like, these super survival mods I never used to play before. I downloaded, like, Frostfall and stuff.
Yeah.
And playing that. And then I got Call of Duty, so I've been playing Call of Duty here and there and trying to, do that. So.
Yeah, before we go, because we're actually going to go, a little bit of self-plugging here. There is a new stream time. I don't have the days quite nailed down. Tomorrow will be one of them. We are going to be streaming the new DLC for Destiny 2, as much as we bitched about that today. But from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock during the week, I will be streaming single-player games. That I'm going to catch up my back catalog of games. So Morrowind will be on that list. We're going to be doing more of the Shadow of War, Final Fantasy 15, exclamation point games in the chat. And those are pretty much what we're going to be running through here. Click that link. That link is the games that we're going to be playing through on stream. And then normal stream days are going to stay the same. Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Those are going to be... The night streams are going to be a little bit longer. Those are going to be me and Orion playing multiplayer games. But every Monday is going to be the death of gaming.
Yeah, we'll have this a lot more. And we'll do it a little more organized than this.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I was planning, like I said, I was planning for a recording. We weren't planning for a live stream.
Well, I know, and I was like, I threw live, and I'm like, let's just go live.
Yeah.
Let's wing it. Let's see what happens.
So we threw this together in, 10 minutes? But yeah, next week it'll be a little bit more professional looking. I won't be cut off right there. You won't be able to see Zach in the back of my webcam, and then also Zach on the webcam.
When I got up earlier, I went to use the bathroom. So.
Oh yeah,
I was wondering where I went for. Like,
Zach went to go strangle a kid.
So. But
I owed him money.
closing points then, you know, we covered
Microtransactions suck.
microtransactions suck. What EA, if you caught the beginning of this, what EA is doing is just terrible. And read up about it. Read up about microtransactions. We shouldn't have to pay for this stuff. We shouldn't have to buy $60 video games and have these loot box pay to win, pay to advance systems pushed down our throat. So that was the big part of our
That was like a
part of this
whole,
show,
yeah,
like the
that was like a
first
whole
hour
30
of
minutes.
this,
Yeah, 30, 45 minutes, yeah.
You know, as we were just talking about that. So that's, if there's anything I want people to take away from, and tell your friends, you know, don't buy Star Wars Battlefront 2. Don't
pre-order.
buy games with these systems. Yeah, don't pre-order. Don't give these companies money.
Yeah. Don't pre-order,
It's not going to get better until we actually start to make it better.
hit them in their wallet. Now, that being said, I'm still going to support microtransactions in the form of cosmetics. No, because cosmetics.
Yes, cosmetics.
Like, if I can make my dude look like fucking, you know, whatever the hell I want.
Pink
Like,
Darth Vader.
yeah. If it's a cosmetic skin that doesn't hurt anybody, I'm going to buy that. I don't have a problem with it. And if you ever make it up to do Cuphead, I own Cuphead on the PC, Nathan. You're fucking on. We'll do 2-player Cuphead.
I'll do some Cuphead, but if you want to see me rage,
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, if you want to, like, there's gonna be we're gonna show off why the stream's called.
A lot of rage game in that one.
Yeah, we're gonna show off why it's called Angry Idiots if we play Cuphead.
Yeah.
But yeah, in closing, microtransactions are bad. In general, they're bad. Like, even cosmetic stuff, that's bad. That's unnecessary. But I don't see it going away. I just don't. I think it should, but I don't see it going away.
Yeah, it's sad, man. You know, it's gaming. Wherever it'll go from here, who knows? Maybe it'll get better. Maybe it won't.
We might end up having another gaming crash like we did when the industry first started. You know, it's a very real possibility.
You know, that's something I think that.
I think it might help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might.
Like, as much as it would suck, I think it might.
Yeah, you know, if all these big AAA game developers and game publishers be like, whoa, what's going on? Our stocks are dropping, like, left and right. Like, people want the content we're putting out. Why is that? Oh, because it's pretty much gambling.
You know what sucks? Even if the gaming industry were to crash, you know, there's 2 companies that would be completely unaffected by it. Nintendo being one of them, and I'm betting EA would walk away pretty much unscathed. EA needs a total fucking revamp of that entire company for it to, you know, get better.
We can keep talking on about EA.
Yeah.
It's been so long. It's just EA.
Who manages EA? Who's the
EA.
fucking... It's fuck that person and fuck that company. That being said, thank you for making a good Call of Duty. All right, guys. We're gonna end it here. The next stream we kind of tentatively talked about. We're gonna talk about remakes and remasters a little bit more. So if you have a remake or a remaster that you guys want us to talk about a little bit more, or give us your suggestions, go to our Facebook and either message me or write it on our wall, and let us know what you guys want us to talk about next month or next week, and we'll be sure to rip in to EA next week too, about remakes and remasters, because I'm sure they fucked something up there too. But we're gonna get going. Zach, closing thoughts?
Yeah, I've said them all before.
Fuck EA.
Yeah, fuck EA. fuck the industry. You know.
All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.